I'm Nate Puderbaugh, their sports update. The United States began their World Cup campaign with a bang, blasting Paraguay 4-1. It was the most goals the United States had ever scored in World Cup competition, and Florian Belligan was the first American since 1933 to score multiple goals in a World Cup match. The United States faces Australia on Friday. World Cup action today sees Qatar taking on Switzerland, Brazil battling Morocco, and Haiti squaring off with Scotland. The NBA tonight sees the Knicks trying to close out the NBA Finals on the road at San Antonio. Tip-off is at 8:30. The Cleveland Guardians snapped a 4-game skid last night, beating the Tigers at home 3-2. Tanner Bybee struck out 8 in the win. They square off again this afternoon at 4:10. The Cincinnati Reds have now dropped 8 of their last 11 games, losing to the Diamondbacks last night 5-2. Game 2 of that series is this afternoon at 4:10 with Rhett Lauder on the mound for the Reds. Catch the action right here on The Fan. Bringing sports news weapons to the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The Fan is live and local with Fan Sports Saturday. The Fan Sports Day of the Week. Oh, this is some clever branding. Here's your host, place, name, here.
You know, I never want to take it for granted just how good we have it in Central Ohio in regards to our passion for a multitude of sports. You know, hearing Skip Mossick out there from Sayota Country Club as that golf course is getting ready to host the Senior U.S. Open on 4th of July weekend. Tito, you and I are coming off the Memorial Tournament last week and coming off of Muirfield Village. Ohio State football we're reaching the 75-day mark.
Yeah.
You announcements this week about their open practices. There's fever for the World Cup, which I didn't know going into this week if that would necessarily take over the city, but I saw videos from television's Adam King of Bridge Park, and the Columbus Crew hosted a soccer celebration out there last night, and it took over the streets of Dublin.
Yeah.
And I had wondered just how this city would embrace the World Cup. But like with most sports, did a pretty good job.
It did. It helps that they got the quickest goal they've ever had in a World Cup game before, World Cup match, before.
An oopsie daisies.
Right, yeah, it was. But the fact that they scored though fast as they ever have in the World Cup before helps. The fact to get a 4-1 win also helps. If they would have gotten steamrolled 4-1 the other way, I wonder if the passion now would be dead.
Yeah, you do have to come out with the response that Team USA did, but yeah. I think the passion for soccer in this town comes from having the Crew. From having a year-round soccer team, or a soccer team that is around us year-round, that has been with us since 1996. I think it was 94 was the last time
94 was the World Cup here, yep.
America hosted a World Cup, and since then for Team USA, they've been in the same spot.
Yeah.
Like, no, they haven't gotten better.
No.
Since 94. And I know there's been more scuttlebutt and there's been more scandal involved with USA Soccer than there has been success on the pitch. But I think having the Crew has been in large part why there's so much passion for soccer in this town. And it goes to the point that I just made, and that folks here in the capital city, folks here in the state of Ohio, have great passion for sport. And I never want to take that for granted because it makes what we do so much more enjoyable, Tito.
It does. But ever since 94, and even before that, Reese, when they had the North American Soccer League, and they started playing professional soccer leagues in the United States.
Uh-huh.
And Pelé, depending how pretentious you are, from Brazil comes in and plays for that league near the end of his career. And there was soccer's going to take off. It's going to now it's going to take off. 94, now it's going, and it never did. And it is better and moving in the right direction, but. The guys that are playing now on this team weren't alive in 94. It's like they were watching at home and said, you know what, man, I can't wait to get to the World. No, it's after all of that. But it is moving in the right direction. It certainly is. And the Crew have done as far as, the first soccer-specific stadium.
Yep.
And all, like the fact that all those things like that are happening. The Crew had success. I know this season has been a great season for the Crew thus far, but nonetheless, it is something that's constantly moving in the right direction. And boy, it'd be great this year to see the U.S. And I don't know what their ceiling's going to be, but if the USA can, get to 8, get to the quarters, I think that'd be huge.
It also helped that Columbus basically became the home of U.S. soccer for like 12 years.
Yeah. No doubt, yeah.
There's a couple Dos Acero games between Team USA and Mexico, and I just, watching it last night, found myself more captivated than I thought at the beginning of the week. Because I didn't know. The 2026 World Cup kind of snuck up on us.
Yeah.
Because at this time of the year, your attention's pulled in so many different directions. Where you look every couple of days. Like, oh, the World Cup. When's that thing happening? What's that doing? But I found myself, interested in Mexico and South Africa. Shakira obviously helped with that. But for Team USA last night, as great of a start as you could hope for. Even Gio Reyna, who's, I think at one point supposed to be the next up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he was ever on the Freddie Adu trajectory. Right. Because that was, I remember growing up, that was who was supposed to be the next savior
on the Sports
of
Illustrated.
U.S.
Yes,
soccer.
he was the one.
And I think that's one of the bigger reasons why it just hasn't taken as much as it has in other parts of the world, because the best soccer players here have to go overseas to really be. You can't be the best player in the world in that sport here like you can the rest of them.
It's the flip of the NBA. In the NBA, you could be, if you're going to be the best, you got to play in the NBA here, like overseas, European players. Wembanyama, a perfect example. Doncic, guys like that. But it's the opposite in soccer, to where if you're really good here in the United States, if you want to be really, really good known, you got to get out of here.
And so for Team USA, they have Australia next Friday, 3 o'clock at Lumen Field in Seattle. Watching, some of these sites of the World Cup, I thought the sterile environment at SoFi/Los Angeles Stadium wouldn't put on a good show, but I was happy to be wrong.
Yeah.
And I do think, back in 94, I think the final was, I know Brazil won in 94.
Brazil against Italy.
And that game was held at the Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl, yeah.
And I did lament this week thinking more championships should be decided at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
I look to college football and I go, maybe think about that, because that's the best scene in sport. And if you do it in the summer, I know it's going to be hot, but it's going to be hot most places.
Yes.
So I think hydration breaks are great. So here's some credit, FIFA, for having that, but also because they use it as a commercial break.
For me personally, and I was 23 years old in 94 when it was going on. I worked for Damon's Restaurants, and I worked at the corporate level, so I was moving around all the different restaurants throughout the summer. And the atmosphere, now this was all like, before everyone had DirecTV or streaming and all these things. Like, if you wanted to watch a game that wasn't on ABC, you had to pretty much go to a sports bar type environment and watch it. But the passion from that, and all those, the fans would bring in their country's flags. And it was just, it was very reminiscent of like the college football Saturdays and NFL Sundays when you had to go places like that to watch multiple games. And it was so much fun to watch, and how many different people, like it was some of the best business days for sports bars ever when the World Cup was going on back then. And it really was a passionate thing then. It's really one of the more passionate things I've ever seen in sports, as far as being around people that aren't actually at the game, but are just consuming it.
I had thought the goal for Team USA is make it out of the group stage, make it out of Group D play.
They've got to make it out of that.
Chris in the YouTube chat has a really good point. They just need to make it past the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Not sure what round that would be, but to have Team USA competitive as we on the 4th of July celebrate our 250th birthday.
Right.
I think that would bring in a lot more. It's already bringing in a lot because you do have the national spectacle, and I love the international flavor. I think Team Ecuador had their home base here in Columbus.
Right.
I think it was Team Egypt that was up in Cleveland. And so to have that international flavor and to bring in so many people from so many different parts of the world that want to show their love and appreciation for this sport, and to have everybody in America do a pretty good job over the first couple of days, gives me great confidence that this will be a great thing moving forward into the summer. But to have Team USA as part of it as possible, to stay in competition with it, to not just flame out in the group play round, really, really important.
It'd be 4th of July would get them to the quarterfinals.
That's what I'm hoping to make the quarterfinals.
Well,
it'd be no, look, but it's when you get to the group stage thing is easier this year, Reese, than most years, because they're taking 8 third-place teams. It's the top 2 in each group, plus the top 8 third-place teams advance. And
so for the Americans, you beat Australia next week, and you're most likely in.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And I think, and they should be in. They really should be in. It should be that right there. If they miss the group, if they get knocked out group stage, that would be catastrophic, I think. And then I think that their floor then would be, I think, to get knocked out in the game after the group stage. And I think their ceiling is quarterfinals, and that'd be huge if that was the case.
And so also last night, because when you have these on, and I was also watching Guardians and Tigers, and I think they're going to go in game 2 of that 3-game set today around 4 o'clock. Tarek Skubal is expected to get the start. He's coming off of an elbow procedure where he had loose bodies removed. The Reds will be on the Fan this afternoon, taking on the Diamondbacks. They lost last night on the Fan today, so we'll have Reds pregame coverage in the 4 o'clock hour following Westwood One Sports, following us, and we're on till 1 o'clock this afternoon. But having all of that, being on social media, and just seeing how much the World Cup and how much Team USA soccer permeated into the conversation, I also started to pick up on some NFL chatter, because at SoFi Stadium, it's artificial turf. But for all of these FIFA World Cup matches, they have to bring in natural grass.
Right.
And I think to myself, if you're at MetLife Stadium, I think is doing the final game. But at Mercedes-Benz, at SoFi, at Jerry's World in Dallas, you've got natural grass. What's stopping you from keeping it?
Well, you're right. And NFL players would prefer that.
I saw George Kittle saying, wonder if we could get that all season. It's already there.
Yeah, is
there a water table issue in those other cities, or am I missing something?
It's a cost thing to keep it up year round. And then that's at least what I think that's what I read. It's more of a.
That's what the NFL says.
It's a finance. Yeah, it's what the NFL says. But when the players are doing their negotiations for the for the different deals, the union, the labor deals, all this kind of stuff, that's something. If it's that important to you, the thing is, NFL players aren't necessarily looking 10 years from now. They're looking 3 years from now, and it's like, hey, I'm already been here. I'm not going to die on this hill for somebody who's playing right now at the 6th grade level somewhere.
Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk. So, the players should go on strike. Like, I don't know if that's the hill that they're going to be willing to die on. But it is, to me, just another great hypocrisy for NFL owners.
Player safety. More games, more turf.
Is that what you're right?
Yes, right. But we care about the safety, though, of these guys.
Because outside of Joe Burrow, the ultimate 5-year what-if was Aaron Rodgers, the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure, yeah.
Like, what if play number 2?
Yeah. It's second play.
He doesn't, tear his Achilles.
Right. Yeah.
Because of how bad the turf is at MetLife Stadium. Another great hypocrisy, and this is something, Tito, that I have wanted to stop talking about, but I think it's really important for the royal we, continue to talk and continue to mount the pressure as much as we possibly can on Texas Tech. Because there was more scuttlebutt involved with the Brendan Sorsby situation that we will get into next. It's Fan Sports Saturday, right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver. Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you the chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join a league, or bring the office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great food and drinks here or next door at Agave and Rye. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who's got what it takes. Book your race today at outlawsimracing.com.
High energy bills? Your HVAC system could be the reason. Save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with Columbus Worthington Air. Smart homeowners know an old air conditioner can cost you more every month. Don't let it drain your wallet. Upgrade to efficient, reliable comfort with payment options that fit your budget. Backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
Relax and let Kroger Delivery handle your grocery shopping this week. We start with only the freshest items. Then we carefully pack your order in our refrigerated trucks, so your food stays cool and fresh on its way to your door. And right now, you can save $30 on your first pickup or delivery order and get unlimited free delivery. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Remember the old days when football used to have an off-season? Well, we at The Fan think that really sucked. That's why we bring you Austin and Berm, America's #1 resource for Buckeye football conversation, is voted by Fake Surveys Incorporated. Catch their daily podcast called The Beat and their breaking news podcast, Snap Judgments, as they broadcast live from Roosters on Mondays, and they come right to your house and massage your tender areas. They'll do it all. Austin and Berm on The Fan's YouTube channel and 10TV+.
It all connects. The girl who walks for hours to bring home the family's water, the school she can't attend most days, her little brother's belly laugh, her dreams of being a teacher, an engineer, the mayor. It all connects. But at Child Fund, so do we, through everything we do, so every child can grow up healthy, educated, and safe. Because we need each other. Learn more at childfund.org.
The best words to hear at the TSA security checkpoint? you're good to go. All it takes is a little preparation. Get to the airport early, bring a carry-on bag that fits in the overhead, and have an acceptable ID. Not all state-issued IDs will cut it. Check out tsa.gov/ID and see which TSA acceptable IDs make the grade, like a real ID or passport.
Before you jet, do a little prep, and you're good to go. Check out tsa.gov/ID or the MyTSA app.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Every time you pull onto a job site, your name pulls in with you. That's why the pros trust Bobcat equipment. Buy the machine you're proud to run, backed by the crew that's been serving the industry since 1975. That's 50 years of showing up, long after you receive the keys. Bobcat Enterprises is here for you with 9 locations serving Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. On every job, you deserve a team that stands behind you. Visit bobcatent.com to learn more.
What can ADP do for small business? We help answer the business questions, like how do you track employee time? How do you do payroll taxes? Or what does compliance even mean? So small businesses can focus on bigger questions. Now florists can ask, can we invent another holiday to sell bouquets? Pizza shops can ask, how do we stuff a calzone into a pizza crust? And pool cleaners can ask, what is that thing in the filter? These are the questions you can focus on when ADP takes care of the business of your small business. ADP for small business.
Maybe it was a family vacation or a school field trip. But there you were, standing in awe at a national park. We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Today, tomorrow, forever. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
The Fan has a secret radio station. It's called The Fan 2. You can listen to the Bob and Tom Show, Jim Rome, and Buckeye stuff. Why do they pay me big money to whisper? The Fan 2 is on the Fan's HD2 channel and streaming on the Fan app. You're welcome. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It's shaping up to be an absolutely beautiful Saturday with plenty of sunshine and warm temperatures all across the area. Highs climbing into the mid-80s today, but you're going to have a lot of sun and a pretty high UV today. So if you're heading outside, make sure you bring your sunscreen. Tonight, we're going to see a couple more clouds roll in, but staying pretty mild with lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, we have a chance of rain and storms returning on your Sunday. I'm your 10 Weather Impact meteorologist, Lily Aldrich, with the 97.1 The Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we shut up. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
No, we're squawking till 1 o'clock. Eric Rieser, Jeff Vidoff. Nate's here as well. Yesterday, the Oklahoma Attorney General jumped into the fray. That is Brendan Sorsby, Texas Tech, Big 12, Brett Yormark. Gentner Drummond is the AG of the Sooner State, and he sent a letter to the boss of the Big 12, Brett Yormark, supporting the conference's ability to sanction Texas Tech and Brendan Sorsby, and recommended the Big 12 take action, rejecting recent threats from Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton that the conference cannot do so as meritless and absurd. So Ken Paxton threw his hat into the ring on Thursday. I think Ken Paxton's also running for Senate in the Lone Star State, so I think all he wants to do is just gain public support amongst Texans. This might not be that, though, because Texas Tech, while popular, a small portion of the Lone Star State, because you've now really what has been fascinating with this is you've aligned all of college football against one entity in Texas Tech.
You have. And the fact that somebody in Oklahoma is saying this it doesn't hold as much weight with me because it's Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's in the SEC, so this.
Well, they're in the SEC, but still, Oklahoma and Texas, the state of Oklahoma, state of Texas, big rivalries in all sports, right? Like, I mean, Oklahoma, the fact of him saying, no, Big 12 needs to do this with Texas Tech.
Sure.
Needs to do this. Like, that to me, just because it's who it is. It'd be the same thing if Jim Harbaugh came out and said something about, people should not be cheating. Like that, right? Okay, Jim.
I think he did.
That's what right. And Saban,
ultimate hypocrisy.
Saban saying that players get paid too much on
ultimate
Capitol.
Hypocrisy.
Right. It's like I'm thinking, okay, different messenger might come across different.
Yeah, this is really I would say of the major look in the mirror moments.
Yeah.
This is, I think, the ultimate litmus test for all of us as college football fans, because with what Tech and Sorsby are doing, it's easy for all of us to pile in and say that's wrong, because it is.
Sure.
He broke NCAA rules. He broke laws.
Oh, yeah.
Regarding underage gambling.
Yes.
There are receipts. There's his own admission.
Yeah.
The case feels as open and shut as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
However, a judge ruled on Monday in favor of Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech, giving the party an injunction into the NCAA's eligibility ruling, saying we've got to let this just wait a little bit. I think they've got a trial scheduled for February of 2027,
Yes.
which is a month after the national championship.
Yes.
So while the judge didn't necessarily say, no, Texas Tech and Brendan Sorsby's right, he did say, while we wait for the trial to happen, I'm not going to let the NCAA rule him ineligible, which I didn't think. I was shocked. And maybe that's my fault for not seeing where this was headed. The fact that Texas Tech filed all of this, I had thought was just so that it could get Brendan Sorsby eligible for the supplemental draft.
Yes. That's kind of what I was thinking it would be too. And the fact that they are, it seems like an odd hill to die on, but you brought up some great points about, why, that Sorsby, there's a lot of money from one person behind this.
Here's the thing with the looking in the mirror, because Ohio State, for a time, had a lot of money coming from a particular person.
Yep.
And that particular person ran the university. Texas Tech right now has a lot of money coming from a particular person.
Right.
That particular person, Cody Campbell, you could say runs the university. I truly believe that when you saw that horse bleep roundtable that Texas Tech released Thursday night, that was at the insistence of Cody Campbell, who is funding this entire Texas Tech athletic operation. And as we know here, athletics funds most of the actual academic operation.
And if Texas Tech had a better backup quarterback, would they be doing this?
I think that,
or if
I don't
it was
think
their
so.
backup quarterback.
I think the fact that they spent $6 million, at least $6 million, because I can't imagine a world where Sorsby was getting paid $600,000 to go to Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
And then he broke his contract early. And then Cincinnati went after him for $1 million, which I think was the remainder of the contract.
Yeah.
Sorsby's not paying that.
No.
Probably Cody Campbell is.
Yeah. Yep.
Cody Campbell's paying Sorsby. Cody Campbell's paying for the softball. Cody Campbell's paying for the football. Cody Campbell is, if you ever seen the show Landman and John Hamm's character Monty,
I've seen parts of it. Yep.
Has unlimited funds.
Yeah.
And has unlimited passion for Texas Tech. Will not stop paying the bill for Tech and for Red Raider athletics. And I firmly believe he's telling them, no, I paid money for this quarterback. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And they've been able to figure it out to the point of all Sorsby's got to do for admitting to gambling on sport is sit 2 games, and then he's eligible week 3 in their game against Houston.
Right.
Then if you're Tech, that's the road you've got to take. And for Ohio State fans to sit back and say, well, if that was happening to Ohio State's quarterback, well, no, Ryan Day and company would put him on the bench. I don't know if you can say that. I don't know if you can say any university wouldn't do exactly what Texas Tech is doing, considering the resources that has been put behind this quarterback and how important it is to win now.
As it's been so fascinating for me the last few days discussing this with various people. And I talked about with Carp and Bodie on Juice. I've talked about it with Murph, now with you, and also with Berm. But it's like with all the uproar, rightful uproar.
Yes, this is all deserved, because this is in a sport, in a collegiate athletic landscape littered with hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
This is as bad as it gets,
well,
in my opinion.
I was going to say, with all the uproar, though, that we had as Ohio State fans about what went on with Michigan and the cheating scandal. Okay?
Yeah.
With how much, and again, rightfully so, that Ohio State pointed at Michigan. Ohio State fans publicly pointed at Michigan and said, that's wrong. What the, and Michigan's like, in Michigan, even though you see receipts there too, you see stuff that happened.
Sure.
That was cheating. Any school then that would then turn around and say, like, you know what, it's okay if Sorsby plays now. Like, that seems hypocritical, but you're right. That's the way college sports are. It's very much, how does it benefit me?
Does it benefit me right now?
Does it benefit the as a fan?
Damn, 5 years from now.
Right. I heard Bodie say on Juice on Friday, he said, you know what, if this happened to Notre Dame and the same stuff, same rulings, same outcome and all that, he said in the moment I might be, we shouldn't do that, but come that first Saturday in September, I'm out there I want the natty. I want the national championship.
Most college football fans would think that. Now, I would hope that's not the case here. I would hope if it was an Ohio State quarterback and they had receipts upon receipts.
Yes.
Saying that they broke a cardinal rule in the sport, that they wouldn't, that the coaches, that the adults in the room, that Ryan Day, that Ross Bjork would step in and say, no, he cannot play. But I cannot tell you that would be the case.
What do you think the chances are? Okay, that's such a weird question. I know, like, what are they? Do you think there's
Give me the odds?
Okay, the odds on that. No, I'm just like, because I would be shocked, and this might speak more, and I freely admit this, might speak more to maybe I've just bought into all the Ryan Day, the persona, the perception. Maybe I bought into all of that, and I just see in my mind
that is who he is.
I see Ryan Day saying, like, you know what? I'm a big advocate for mental health. We know that. My family is.
Sure.
Okay? And we're going to make sure Sorsby gets all the help he needs. If he needs to be on this team and part of this team to make sure he comes out of this on the right side, I will do everything I can, and the university will, to support him. Yep. He can stay with the team. He can practice. He can be around. Everything we do. It's just we don't think it's right to play him right now.
I would think that would be
God, I would hope that'd be the case,
avenue
man.
They would walk down. I really do hope Ohio State would choose that path. I hope anybody would. I hope Texas Tech chooses that path.
Yeah.
I think right now it's more likely up to the people around Brendan Sorsby saying to him, this might not be worth it. What he is, the potential for what he has to walk into this season.
Sure.
And I don't know. It's different with him as a college football legacy because he's a mercenary.
Yeah.
This isn't like Julian Sain, who's going into his third season at Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Sorsby will pay for the highest bidder. This much we know. So maybe he doesn't give a rip about any of it.
Yeah.
He was given $6 million to do a job, and he's going to go do that job for them. And the powers that be are allowing that to happen.
Yeah, they are. And that's the part that I feel like Texas Tech could come out of this looking a lot better if they had taken a different stance on this. And like you talked about the video, it's not he killed somebody. No, he didn't kill anybody. But still, we know he bet. He knows he bet. He said he bet. Everyone knows he broke that rule.
And that's the thing where you had, was it Brandon Miller for Alabama, who was involved somehow in somebody being unalived?
Yes.
And Alabama still played him.
Yeah, I know.
So there are no rules. What this might look like in the coming months for Texas Tech, and what about the Big Ten? We'll discuss that in 2 minutes. It's Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Common Man here. Join me June 20th for the Common Man Mile at this year's Fan 5K in Westerville. Get signed up at 971therace.com.
The 97.1 The Fan 5K is presented by Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, and the Common Man Mile is sponsored by Rose Pest Solutions. Rose Pest Solutions has been protecting Columbus homes and businesses for over 165 years. Got a pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com.
No! USA is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
Get Eco.
Jerry, you're the kind of guy who likes to save money while you do good for the planet, right?
Well, that's why I invented the biodegradable doggy poop bag, Aaron. I'm ecological and economical.
Well, usually the most economical thing you can do when your air conditioner dies is get it repaired. A quick fix can give you years more service.
That sounds economical.
But with older models, those repairs can get pretty expensive, and it'll still use way more energy than a newer model does.
Which is less ecological and less economical.
Get eco.
ECO. You see where I'm going with this, Jerry?
I sure do. As hard as it is to toss out your old AC and replace the whole thing, it could actually be cheaper in the long run.
Get eco.
ECO. Are you really a big deal in the poop bag industry, Jerry?
The doggos love me, Aaron.
Get eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvis weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, the Fan. Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
So we do have to keep the pressure on, because I hope that sanity prevails, and I hope that Brendan Sorsby doesn't play this season. And it's not like his career would be dead. He can go to the NFL. Like, he's got first-round talent on him. So if you're able to somehow sanity can prevail and he's ruled ineligible and he doesn't play for Texas Tech anymore,
right,
and still go to the supplemental draft.
I think that, and I'm curious if you agree with this or not, if Sorsby comes out and says, you know what, I broke the rules. This is wrong.
He did. He went to rehab.
And said, look, I'm not going to play this year for Texas Tech. I understand. It's just not right. I'm not going to do it. And then goes into the supplemental draft. And a team takes him that's like in a Stafford situation. They've already got a guy there. So it's not like Sorsby's got to play right away. It's not like they're going to count on him and be the guy right away. If he does that, I think it looks it's a lot better for him than the scrutiny he's going to face this year, starting in that first game on a Friday night in a conference game against Houston on Fox. What he's going to face in every game, all the media, the fans, what's going to happen there, especially on the road, it could end up backfiring for him tremendously, despite the fact he's getting a lot of money.
Yeah, but as I said, I don't think he cares. And I think he's showing that. I think Tech's showing that. I think Joey McGuire's showing that they don't really care.
Yeah,
that they're doing whatever it takes to win, and that is the ask. With so much money that's been put into this, they are doing everything that they can. It's a very NFL model.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the person. I'm not worried about perceived rules that he broke, because that's what Texas Tech's trying to say. Well, rules were broken. However, he's got an addiction. So we're trying to help him through that. And that may be the case.
Right.
However, you can still help while also not flying in the face of rules. While also not crushing the integrity of the sport. Yeah. And what little integrity is left in college sports.
There's nothing left there, Reese. There really isn't.
No, but I think this is the hill that we in the media should stay on, not necessarily die on, but so that this, I don't know where this goes from here.
I would just think Texas Tech would want to avoid the hassle of, like, anytime Brendan Sorsby throws an interception, someone's going to be calling for an investigation into them, making sure he wasn't throwing that pick on purpose.
Yeah, the sports books are going to have more scrutiny on them in regards to Texas Tech action than probably ever before. Although, I don't know, in a fairly unregulated gambling market,
right?
Who knows what that looks like? How was Sorsby able to access gambling apps underage?
Well, that's the other thing.
By saying he was 18.
You know the answer to the question, but I ask it as a means to say...
The accomplices also could be in trouble. The ones who place the bets for him.
Is it even being looked into?
Probably not, but but again, okay, then why have the law?
Oh, I agree. I agree with you. I think, look, the rules say you cannot gamble on sports.
Yeah.
And if you gamble on sports, you are ineligible. And so I want for that to still have some weight behind it.
Yeah.
But the NCAA, through inaction and through really inaction, has allowed itself to be in this position.
Ohio State jersey I ever owned was number 10. Now, it was back when you couldn't put the players' names on the backs of them, but it was Art Schleicher's time at Ohio State, and that was the first one. I loved Art Schleicher at Ohio State when he was playing quarterback for them. And, he gets the NFL and has his thing. But, and looking back, now I was only, 12 years old, I think, when Art got drafted. 82, 11 years old, I think, we got drafted. Anyway, he was the number 4 pick overall by the Colts. And all the gambling stuff happened with him, and I don't know if he's been in and out of prison many times now because of his problems with gambling. And it was like when I got older, I'd heard that, oh, yeah, he went to the track all the time, the horse racing track with Earl Bruce. They would go there, Souter Downs or Beulah Park, whatever it was at the time, I guess, and they would bet on things. But I never heard any sports stuff back then. But it sounds like people would see him out there, like it was known that Schleicher was out there doing it. But at the time, I don't know what the gambling age would have been at that point, but he's out there as a coach. It's a bad look anyway. But nonetheless, I don't know if the sports gambling happened at that point, but so I don't know how widely known it was about the sports gambling until the NFL got involved and he got in too deep and had to go to ask for help because his life was being threatened.
Yeah. I had heard that this week where the fans of other programs look to Ohio State fans and say, what about Art Schleicher?
Right.
And I don't know if it was as known when he was playing at Ohio State outside of, oh, hey, I saw him at the track.
Right.
Or, hey, I saw him. I heard from a friend who heard from a friend about this. With Sorsby, there are digital receipts. There's years of a paper trail,
right.
An admission.
Right.
He went to rehab for all of this. So I know this is going to come off naive, but I want and I hope that Texas Tech or that somebody involved does the right thing and says, Brendan, you're not playing this season.
Yeah.
Go to the NFL. And the NFL will probably have to have its own conversation with him. If he is truly addicted to gambling,
right?
Well, you can't have that. Not at the National Football League level. However, I don't think anything's going to come of this. I think he's playing week 3 against Houston. It'll bubble up a couple of times during the football season, but September 5th, once the boot meets the ball, college football fans are going to go to caring about their own individual teams. And I do think that was this week why Texas Tech did everything that they did, to try to beat people down with it to where they're just tired of talking about it.
Yeah.
Where they're tired of bringing it up, where they just want to move on to actual football games, where they want to move on to actual football things on the field.
Football talk.
And not people flying in the face of a rather toothless organization in the NCAA. But the NCAA has filed an appeal of the injunction. So there will be more from this before actual football gets played.
Texas Tech play at Cincinnati this year?
They are. It's late October for that game. So there will be instances in the season where it'll bubble up. But if you look at the Big 12, it's a bad conference. I mean, Steve Sarkisian, when he said it a couple weeks ago, he could take his 2s and his 3s and run through that conference, he's absolutely right. They stink. Texas Tech is the Big 12's best option at making the college football playoff. And if you hear about units, that is why the Big 12 kind of needs Texas Tech. You know, we had wondered earlier in the week on Bishop and Friends if Oklahoma and Texas were still in the conference, if they could use their combined weight to nip this in the bud.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah.
But now that Oklahoma and Texas are in the SEC, this really isn't their problem.
No.
And that's why I also think you have the Big Ten. You had, I think it was Nebraska's AD come out and say, well, we're just not going to schedule them anymore. And then there was a little bit of talk about that, a little bit of bluster from the Big Ten. But Brett McMurphy reporting the Big Ten will not prohibit schools from scheduling the Red Raiders. League will allow schools to schedule non-conference opponents as they desire. Nebraska is the only Big Ten school that said it won't schedule future games against Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Now I wonder, is Tech trying to schedule anybody of consequence anyway? I think it's Abilene Christian and Oklahoma. Abilene Christian and Oregon State are the first 2 opponents this season.
It goes all to it's all posturing again there, Reese. Like, there's no way a conference will say you cannot schedule Tech. They won't. I'm sorry. They might say it. They're not going to hold anybody to it.
No, it won't be anything.
It's all
explicit.
it's just a show. Hey, let me tell you how serious we are about this.
I appreciate the conversation, right? Yeah. I appreciate them trying to do whatever they can to say this is wrong. Here's how we're going to try to combat it.
Yep.
It doesn't have a whole lot of weight behind it, especially when reporting comes out a couple of days later that says, no, they're going to allow it. It's fine. Like, maybe don't let that be the case.
Yeah.
But we're not out of this rabbit hole just yet. There was the announcement earlier this week that Ohio State's going to have its first 3 fall camp practices open to the public, August 6th, 7th, and 8th. And I think what Ohio State's done so well, I think this is the fourth year that they're doing it. We'll be out there for the Saturday Spectacular doing that program on the 8th. If you're out there, stop by and see us.
Oh, wait, we are?
You can tell us how wrong we are.
I didn't know that.
Now you do. So be available. Be available August 8th.
Yes. That's fantastic.
Tickets, $48 for general admission, $143 for VIP access. I think it's cooler than the spring game in terms of access to Ohio State from a non-football game playing perspective, because you get to see so much. And what Ryan Day and company do so well at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center is they don't waste any time.
Yeah.
There's no wasted moments. There's no just nonsense. They don't just goof around stretching. There is stretching, but then they actually play a real football. Like last year, they brought out zebras and they scrimmaged.
Hey, you can see it gives you a different perspective on how regimented and how much down to the second that they plan these things out. When you see how quickly they rotate through things and how intense the coaches are. And then us from the media perspective, I know you guys out there, we were out there, Morning Juice was out there, and you guys were out there as well. And, we had extended conversations. I know on our side, Ryan Day came on, Bjork came on. We had Maddie P came on. Like those things, and it's just, it's a different kind of interview you can do than being in some massive press conference, where all the reporters are asking questions from all over the place. It's like you get that one-on-one time, and it right there in the moment's really cool.
Yeah, a couple of years ago when Jim Knowles was still the defensive coordinator, they had just given up a touchdown to end practice, and he was breathing fire.
Yeah.
And he came up, and Bo was able to get maybe 2 questions out of him, and it was 5 minutes. And Fish had lamented how awful it was on the radio. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Because it was raw.
It's real.
Because it was Jim Knowles, didn't want to talk to anybody. He wanted to rip his players' heads off.
Right.
But he had a microphone in front of him, and so he had to be as cordial as possible.
Right.
And I thought that the whole scene was great. And that is what you can't get anywhere else. And it's a great credit to the job that everybody's done over there. And it's also helps with the NIL. It also helps with money you need to continuously find because the ask for college athletics has gone up. Florida, the University of Florida announced something this week that has to have Ohio State on more notice than I think ever before. We'll discuss that next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Join T-Bone and Tyvis mornings on The Fan for football, food, and fun, featuring T-Bone.
Now, when you were talking about the football stuff, I was listening, but when you said Waffle House, I leaned forward in my chair.
And national champ Tyvis Powell.
I was staring myself in the mirror for a good 10 minutes today looking at it.
Where they solve all the world's complex problems.
We're not putting the toothpaste back in the toothpaste container.
Sponsored by Capital Ford of Columbus.
Football, food, and fun with T-Bone and Tyvis. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on The Fan.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
It's time for sun and savings at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, get a new 2060 Elantra SE for $59 per month for a 2-year lease. Just $59 a month for the drive into summer sale. This month only. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit $39.95 down plus tax title first month payment. 7,500 miles per year and 7.6.
Spring cleaning is when homes get a new twinkle in their eye,
A new spring in their step.
a new color in their cheeks.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We'll be there before you hang up the phone.
When that shiny truck from 1-800-GOT-JUNK arrives at your house,
It's a sign of a new beginning,
a clean start.
a breath of fresh air.
When your home feels clean and happy,
The people inside feel clean and happy too.
we make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit us at 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Did you know you can save up to $35 on your next fill-up? Redeem your points for big savings at the pump. Exclusions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Your plate is full every morning, thanks to the $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. Freshly brewed coffee, a hearty breakfast sandwich with a freshly cracked egg, and a daily baked donut. All of that for just $6. Yeah, that is a full plate for sure, but it's one less thing on your plate to worry about. So enjoy it to its fullest. The $6 Tim's Trio, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons, at participating U.S. restaurants.
There's this thing repair people do nowadays.
Mapos Plumbing. Sure, we do have a dispatch fee. It's $1 zillion.
A dispatch fee, a trip charge, going out to your house bill.
Bippity Bing Bong Electrical. Our trip charge is a nice new car.
But not Apex Pros, the pros who knows. When you call Apex for repairs on your AC, plumbing, or electric, there's no dispatch fee.
Thank you for calling Apex Pros. Why would we? Kinda silly to ask for money before we do anything, isn't it?
We give you an upfront price only after we know what's really going on. We think it's the right thing to do, instead of
Slappy's AC, electric, plumbing, dry cleaning, haberdashery, and chiropractic. Of course we charge to come out. $1 kajillion, 3 diamond rings, and 2 exotic pets.
Apex Pros. Never a dispatch fee. Examples of competitive rates may have been slightly exaggerated.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
Bishop and Friends. You felt confident in that one because you've always had a very elite ability to mount men dating back to your time at DeSales.
There's nothing wrong with wrestling.
Bishop and Friends, sponsored by Diamond Seller.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
It's been a hell of a week. Rieser, Tito, Nate here with you until 1 o'clock. I'm reminded that, was it Tuesday? We said, see you at football season to a legend. And Dom Taberry stepping away from full-time duties at 10 TV my entire life. Dom's been a part of sports in Central Ohio. And even as I've gotten older, he's grown into just part of Central Ohio, part of the culture.
Yeah.
And the idea that, he's done that. He's been Dom Taberry for as long as he has, because he's not a reporter. He's not a sports anchor. He's not a sports director. He's not a camera person. He's Dom Taberry.
Yeah.
And that's his job title. And it's fitting that he gets this time to take the time to spend with his family. But I'm sitting in the back of my mind on Tuesday. I'm like, he's not missing Jeremiah Smith's last season in Ohio State.
Reese out there at the Memorial.
He got his flowers on Tuesday, but he's not missing the fireworks in the fall for what's going to be a really fun football season.
I am out there at the Memorial, and I'm in the media dining area kind of thing, and Dom's in there. There's a couple of women that were volunteers there that were kind of talking to Dom about his career and everything. And Dom had mentioned I was at a different table. I heard him say about he said, yeah, I'm about to take a step back, and do this. And as I was leaving, I walked over. I said, ladies, and they were like, oh, no, Dom, you can't, whatever. I walked by. I said, ladies, listen. Okay. I say, Dom is never going away. Now, you won't see him much in the summer.
He's taking a summer vacation.
That's what he's doing.
A very well-deserved summer vacation. If you thought for one single solitary second he was missing out on what's to come in the fall.
There's no way.
What do you mind?
And by the way, I think Dom will always be around.
In some form or fashion, yeah.
Much like we had him on the show last time, the Buckeye Show, Tim May's the same way. Tim May's retired like 6 times.
Yes.
Okay? Tim May still...
I still maintain Tim May has not retired.
No.
He's just realigned his career.
He told us the story last night that 6 years ago when he thought he was done, and he shakes Ryan Day's hand at the end of the press conference, says something like, hey, and there's a few years ago, and he said, Ryan's probably me and Ryan said, Tim, this is like the 3rd time you've retired.
Yeah.
I think Dom's going to be the same way.
I was gonna say more. Dom's gonna strike me as Earl Bruce.
Yeah.
Remember the later parts
yeah.
With Earl sitting in the press box, just swearing at things. Now, I don't know if Dom will get on that level of vulgarity.
No.
But Dom's always going to be a fixture when it comes to Ohio State football.
Yes.
He'll be back in the fall.
Legend.
Very well deserved, an incredible career.
Yes.
Especially in an industry where you'll never see anything like that.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
Nope. Does not happen anymore.
But yeah, he'll probably be at one of Ohio State's fall practices. I think he's still doing the Ryan Day Coaches Show. And so he'll very much be a fixture of our content here as Ohio State, August 6th, 7th, and 8th will allow us to go out there and mess around the Woody Hayes Athletic Center.
And this is where Rieser's TV career takes off now. He's the next Dom DeBerry.
Oh, I'm nowhere serious or talented or personable or funny enough or charming enough, I should say.
Other than that, though, I think you're the guy for the job. Other than those things.
I have decent hair, so that should put me that should put me on the air. Look, Ohio State, I'm not going to, mince any words here, is doing the open practices for NIL.
Sure.
Selling tickets to practice, having these events available because they need the money. Everybody should be doing something similar. I'm actually surprised how more schools haven't jumped on this.
Yeah.
And some I also wonder have weird coaches like Lane Kiffin who don't want to show any secrets of their program, or some have coaches like, I don't think my team's going to be any good in the practice sessions. So I don't want to have people pay to come out and watch garbage.
Yeah.
Because if you ask all of these coaches, and even Ryan Day included, August 6th, 7th, and 8th, how's your team doing? Oh, we got a lot to work on. I'd be really concerned if we had to play a game today. But that's all of these coaches are going to be. But you've got to find new money. And so everything that Ohio State's doing is some of it disagreeable. Yeah. Some of it you wonder, like, who brought that idea up? But it's all in an effort. And Buckeye Country Superfest. Great idea. They're doing that tonight. So if you're going, I would stay, unless you want to do one of these things like Buckeye Country Superfest or the Columbus Arts Festival in the Tri-Village area. There's the Tour de Grandview. Unless you want to be at those events, I would stay away from the center of the city.
I would too.
Be very, very careful this weekend when driving around. And even if you are going to those events, hydrate today.
Yes.
I think doors for the Buckeye Country Superfest open at 10, so they are open
now.
And Tyler Childers is the headliner. He's on at 9:05.
9:05 tonight.
PM.
Okay, thank you. You said Tyler Childers. I mean, the way you said it.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
No, listen. That's okay.
I'm not a country music guy.
I was going to tell you, I'm not going to be the one to confirm it for you.
Yeah.
Because you looked at me like sometimes you do when you're working with somebody says it, Tyler Childers. It's like I don't know. And when you said 9:05, I also thought first before you said headline, I was thinking AM.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, wait, that's the first act, but doors open until 10. I can't tell if it's a headline or not. I have no idea who he is.
There's a handful of other.
Good bands at the art festival today, by the way, that Nate recommends. Go Karate Coyote is their headliner. They're reuniting for their show in like 8 years. Doc Robinson also played the night. Go see them.
Where are they playing at?
The Karate Coyotes are the Bicentennial Park stage, I believe. And then Doc Robinson is on whatever the other one is.
The other stage, they call it.
Is Cosi, is there a stage right out?
Yeah, it's right over by
Cosi on the river?
Yeah.
So if you are going down, great. It's a gorgeous day to do so, but hydrate and wear some sunscreen.
I caught hell last year at the practice Buckeye thing.
What'd you do?
Okay, listen. I was erroneously accused. I'm out there. We do our show.
Uh-huh.
My son came down. Wife came down. We're hanging out afterwards, kind of walking around, checking stuff out. A buddy of mine who won some kind of auction or something or bought something. Somebody gave something. It was like one of those Ohio State footballs, like red on one side, white on the other for autographs.
Yeah.
Scarlet.
And the players are wonderful in signing autographs and sticking around. I remember Caleb Downs staying until all the fans had gotten a signature from him.
So my buddy's like, hey, I don't need this. Yeah. Why don't you give it to Artie? I said, great. Artie, here's a football. You get autographs on it if you want to later on. And he said, Dad, can you hold it? I'm running around. I said, yeah, hold it. So I'm walking around practice, wearing my fan gear, holding like a football that's used for autographs. And someone tells Man and Timmy or Man and Bone, however, it was heavy Man and Timmy, and said, like, hey, you got a guy out here, the media out here looking for autographs? And I'm like, no, I was not. It was my son's football given to me by a friend to give to my son. I'm holding it for him. I'm not out there wearing a fan thing saying, hey, Ryan, you mind? Yeah. Right. I said, look, I'm unprofessional as hell. I'm not that unprofessional.
The unfortunate thing is you built a career up of people aren't surprised if that was something you would do.
Fair. You're right.
You've got the track record of,
yes,
that's a totally believable Tito thing.
Yes.
Maybe next time just have a bag and just put it in the bag.
I didn't expect it.
Well, now you can expect it.
I expect
it. This will be the fourth year that they do this. This will be the fourth year that we're out there. Yeah. So just expect anything.
I know.
Expect every scenario. So I teased what Florida had done. A $1.45 billion renovation of Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, otherwise known as the Swamp. What that means for the shoe, we'll discuss next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Common Man here for my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. Summertime napping season is upon us. What's that mean? Well, that means for me, a little nap on the leather couch. I got the ceiling fan on, but if that AC's not working properly, that nap turns into crap. Am I right? You got to make sure that AC's in tip-top shape, and the only people to call are my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. The message on their homepage says, we care about your comfort, because they do. If you're not comfortable in your own home, they start to get itchy and scratchy. Here's what you need to know about my friends at Care. They've won the Lennox Centurion Award for 17 years in a row. Now, if you're not in the biz, you don't know what that is, but I'm going to tell you, it's given to the top 5% of Lennox dealers in the country each year. Their service techs are the best in the business, and there's not a problem they can't solve, except maybe the meaning of life. They had no answer when I asked them. But think about living without central AC. Mess you up. My friends at Care also have easy online scheduling. CareHeatingandCooling.com. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Hey, it's Timmy Hall for Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice, Orthopedic One. A couple years ago, I felt like I was breezing through life. I was tearing through rounds of golf, and it hit me. Excruciating hip pain. Hip that would not go away until I saw my friends at Orthopedic One. Then, bye-bye pain. So if you're dealing with constant pain or you suffered an injury, start with the specialist. Start at orthopedic1.com. There's no referral required, and there's several convenient locations in Central Ohio. Schedule your appointment at orthopedic1.com.
Your plate is full every morning, thanks to the $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. Freshly brewed coffee, a hearty breakfast sandwich with a freshly cracked egg, and a daily baked donut. All of that for just $6. Yeah, that is a full plate for sure, but it's one less thing on your plate to worry about. So enjoy it to its fullest. The $6 Tim's Trio, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons, at participating U.S. restaurants.
Save big on your next project at Menards. Check out our huge selection of Richmond water heaters. Whether it's electric or gas, tank or tankless, Menards has what you need in stock. Ensure that you have hot water for when you need it most with a new Richmond water heater from Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, I'm Kathy McPhee. Animals have always had my heart, and that is why I'm a proud supporter of American Humane Society. Over the years, I have filled my home with rescue pets. I adopted my sweet Wilma as a senior dog. Some of my most cherished memories are with her. American Humane Society has been protecting animals for 150 years. Your support can save lives. Join us in helping animals in need at AmericanHumane.org.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
I'm Nate Pooter, Sports Update. The United States began their World Cup campaign with a bang, blasting Paraguay 4-1. It was the most goals the United States had ever scored in World Cup competition, and Fuller and Belligan was the first American since 1933 to score multiple goals in a World Cup match. The United States faces Australia on Friday. World Cup action today sees Qatar taking on Switzerland, Brazil battling Morocco, and Haiti squaring off with Scotland. The NBA tonight sees the Knicks trying to close out the NBA Finals on the road at San Antonio. Tip-off is at 8:30. The Cleveland Guardians snapped a 4-game skid last night, beating the Tigers at home 3-2. Tanner Bybee struck out 8 in the win. They square off again this afternoon at 4:10. The Cincinnati Reds have now dropped 8 of their last 11 games, losing to the Diamondbacks last night 5-2. Game 2 of that series is this afternoon at 4:10 with Rhett Lauder on the mound for the Reds. Catch the action right here on The Fan. Bringing sports news weapons to The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Yes, you are. Rieser and Tito. You heard Nate there in the update. Always good for the Cleveland Guardians when you're on a 4-game slide. You got the Detroit Tigers on your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
That helps to kind of right the wrongs.
Of course, having Scooble there helps too, right?
Well, Scooble's on the mound tonight. Joey Cantillo is going to oppose him. 4:10 first pitch in Cleveland. As you heard, the Reds got one against the Padres, but a bad 9th inning, I think, doomed them in their series opener against the Diamondbacks. Today, 4:10, we'll have that for you. I think Reds baseball all weekend will be available for you right here on The Fan. You know, Nate had talked about Team USA and their 4-1 win in their World Cup opener. I also see the final 2 teams in Group D that need to play are Australia and
Turkey, right?
Turkey. And they're playing tonight at midnight in Vancouver.
Yeah.
That's an interesting.
World Cup after dark.
Very late on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Because I'd wondered last night, and I get the whole West Coast thing, but the 9 o'clock start for Team USA. I know they're playing at SoFi Stadium, but could you maybe moved it up to 8?
I know.
Or 7? Probably 8 o'clock. Maybe been the better time to bridge that. But a great chance Team USA next Friday, I think 3 o'clock is when they're kicking off at Lumen Field in Seattle against the Australians. So this is exactly what you want. If you're Team USA and USA Soccer, you're looking to build some momentum in the World Cup, that you are part of the host country.
I don't know enough about it, but I imagine that Turkey's probably a tougher game than Australia.
Probably. I know nothing about those teams.
Right? It's like the country thing.
We did a draft on Bishop and Friends of teams.
Okay.
So we got to pick 4 teams, and I picked Norway, Germany, the Netherlands, and Portugal.
Okay.
Bo picked France, Spain, Argentina, and England.
Oh, you got France and Spain both, huh?
Yeah, well, he was last in the draft, and so we did a snake draft, and so we got both of those. And yeah, France and Spain, I think, are the betting favorites going into the World Cup.
Yeah.
So, but it just shows you what I know, where I said, all right, Norway.
Right.
They've one of the best players in the world whose name currently escapes me. But what is not escaping our national psyche, especially after you get a 4-1 win in your opener, is Team USA and what should be a fun couple of weeks there in the World Cup. We had talked in the last hour about Ohio State, really every college football program trying to find every single solitary cent they can to fund war chest to be competitive in college football. What once was a $10 million roster ballooned to a $14 million roster, then to a $20 million roster. Now you're looking $40, $50, $60 million rosters. And that's the price of admission here.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make the college football playoff. You want to compete in the college football playoff. Now, I think the barrier to entry is going to get easier because we're going to get more teams into the college football playoff. But if you want to compete at the highest level, this is the ask. And it also comes at a time where you need to have the best facilities in the country. You need Woody Hayes Athletic Center needs some love. Like the list for Ross Bjork, I feel like gets longer every day. And with Florida, what they announced on Thursday was a $1.45 billion renovation of Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. We affectionately know it as the Swamp. And that $1.45 billion, not sure where that's going to come from. I think Florida's athletic director, Scott Strickland, says they're going to present further financial details for the Board of Trustees at a meeting in the fall.
Right.
I don't know if they have the kind of billionaire boosters that an LSU would with the Cane's Chicken Finger guy, or Texas Tech with the aforementioned Cody Campbell, or Oregon with Phil Knight.
Yeah.
Ohio State's in the same boat. The shoe's over 100 years old. And I know that they're trying to do things like that 1922 lounge. They got the boxes that are going to be in the south end zone with the wide-ass seats on top.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out ways, Wi-Fi upgrades, stadium sound upgrades, lighting upgrades, scoreboard updates.
Still got to pee in the trough, though.
You just, at some point,
I know.
You look to Ross Bjork and be like, when are you just going to do a complete refresh? Can you?
See, I think it's going to be tough. I love the shoe. Look, the trough thing, I think, was a St. John's thing. It's not really the urinals there at Ohio State. But anyway, my point is, though, that's the biggest complaint. Usually, like the bathroom lines and the Wi-Fi. Those are the biggest complaints.
I remember that. Those were the days.
Yeah, right. Yes, that was
when you were in C-Deck and you're like, wow, bathroom lines are long. But that's fine. Everything else is great.
Yeah. It's a $1.45 billion. And you're right. That money's got to come from somewhere. At the expense of what?
Because if it costs $1.45 billion in the swamp, what's the shoe?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I know.
The figure starts at $1 billion.
Yeah,
and I know it's Northwestern, but they're going to be opening up a stadium that's going to be one of the better ones in the country.
What's a capacity?
It's a lot smaller.
Is it like a 40,000 kind of thing?
I was maybe half because with what's happening at Florida, they're losing 8,000 seats.
Right.
And I think they're at least saying they're doing that to get them up to ADA compliance, adding handrails, widening concourses, so seats have to go. Mm-hmm. I would say for any stadium moving forward, the capacity might not be the most important thing.
35,000 for new Ryan Field.
All of those seats are going to be awesome.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a bad spot to watch the game from. At Ohio Stadium, there are a couple bad spots.
Oh,
just a couple.
I've had an
It's called B-Deck.
And I can't stop winking hard enough. And that could be where you start, right? You just obliterate the seats in B-Deck because you have the fancy pants lounge.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you do standing. You do standing room only like they have at Progressive Field and at Great American Ballpark. And that could be a spot for fans to go. I don't know what ticket prices would look like for those standing room only. They're going on sale June 19th, tickets for Ohio State's 2026 season, or the 3-game ticket plans, or however you want to purchase Ohio State tickets for this fall. But $57, I think, what they're starting at, but then you add on fees and all of that. So maybe $100 gets you in.
Yeah.
A Big Ten game. If I'm going to Ball State, maybe I'm only paying $50, or I can stand and I can have updated bathrooms. It just feels to me, Tito, that you can't just keep piecemealing this.
No, you can't. But
you also can't blow it up. So I will step off of that I've been on that soapbox for years. Just blow the shoe up. Take 2 seasons, go all over the state. You've got a Brook Park Stadium opening up.
Yeah.
You got whatever Cincinnati's going to have.
Yeah.
You've got opportunity there. I get that's not going to happen because you don't want to give up home games in Columbus.
You can't. And Reese, this whole story about Ohio State, though, for as long as I can remember, it's been talked about. Like and I'm going back to when I was like a teenager, like, they need to change some things at Ohio State, need to fix this. And you're right, they're putting Band-Aids on stuff.
What year did they do the bath fitter thing?
I can't remember the year on that one.
Right, they just put a shell over the initial stadium. And again, it's still 100 years old.
Yeah.
And it's getting older.
And there is some charm to the age of it. There are parts about when you walk into it and you think about...
Absolutely. I love my time in C-Deck growing up.
Yeah.
Like, those are my formative years.
Right.
Hanging out with Mike DeWine in C-Deck.
Right.
Like, those were great. I also recognize now that tickets back then were not nearly as expensive as they are now. The price to get into Ohio Stadium, the price to take a family of 4 to a Buckeye game, even Ball State, I think requires you to have better amenities, requires you to have a better atmosphere for fans.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they're doing the lights and the camp song and all of that. But the troughs might have to go away if you're going to be asking more and more from the fans in terms of ticket prices. The long lines might have to go away. And I think that can only come with modernizing the place.
And you got to modernize it without demodernizing it, though, too. You've got, you know what I mean? You need to make it Camden Yards.
You have to do that on top of everything else, on top of maintaining a roster, on top of modernizing the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, on top of paying your coaches.
Well,
if you want to keep bringing in these NFL guys, they're going to require $1 million.
And Reese, I would take a poll. I don't know when the right time to take the poll. I mean POLL as I further this argument, this question. When I would take a poll of people waiting in line at the restrooms and say, what would you rather have, a shorter wait time or Matt Patricia? Because we could blow this up, but we might lose an assistant coach somewhere, or we might not get Tavion St. Clair, or we might not get, Chris Henry Jr. Would you rather shorten your time waiting here, or because I don't know if we can do both consistently?
Because Ohio State's been elite on the field, this has been an easier row to hoe.
Yeah.
Because you win so much, you win so spectacularly, you're always in a national championship hunt, that you can afford to have a stadium that's not up to par, because people are always going to want to watch the team. It's more about, can I see Jeremiah Smith? Can I see Julian Saint? Can I see Bo Jackson?
Yeah.
Less, you can excuse away the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we are going to get to a point where you won't be able to.
Yeah.
With a 100-year-old building. We talk all the time about rankings, and we're getting into preseason ranking season. And I'm always curious, because you'll see, I think, 3 different teams with number 1 votes. I think you're going to see Ohio State, you're going to see Texas, and you're going to see Notre Dame. And I wonder with Notre Dame, a lot of people will tell me their schedule's so easy this season. Okay, well, that's not necessarily something I would want to put into a ranking of, I'm saying, here are the top 25 teams. Here's the best teams in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame strikes me as a top 10 team, but I wouldn't put them ahead of Ohio State. I wouldn't put them ahead of Texas. I don't even know if I put them ahead of Oregon.
Indiana?
Maybe not.
Okay.
I'd say I've got more faith in C.J. Carr than Josh Hoover.
Yep.
Because admittedly, I didn't watch a lot of TCU football last year, but I don't necessarily know if strength of schedule is something you want to put into a top 25 preseason ranking. You can add in how strong the schedule is later on in the year.
Right.
But for me, when we talk the preseason, I think of who is the best. And Notre Dame's just not there right now.
Yeah,
because of what they've lost. Now, C.J. Carr's was really good last season.
Mm-hmm.
But how do the 5-star wide receivers they acquired from Ohio State, how do those guys fit in when they couldn't hit the field in Columbus?
Right. And we've seen, Jameson Williams go out and do pretty good at Alabama when he left here, because he couldn't get on the field here either. So it could be, it's the strength of schedule thing. I'm with you, because last year, looking at people's schedules, we said, oh, man, they got Penn State that week. Penn State's really good, or look at Florida State.
Ohio State schedules this season.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a knock on the Buckeyes in terms of their preseason ranking because they've got USC and Oregon and Texas on the schedule? I don't think it should be.
Right.
Because with Notre Dame, I wonder, are they running right now off of star power of Marcus Freeman more than anything? Adam Rittenberg had a college football future rankings where he says 2 years out who he's got the most faith in to be successful. And in that rankings, he's got Notre Dame number 1. And while I think Notre Dame is a top 10 program right now, Marcus Freeman's done great. I think they're going to be a team that's going to continue to compete at a national stage. I wouldn't put them in a 2-year span over Ohio State, over Oregon, or over Texas.
Do you think this is going to be I don't even know if this is an easy question or not.
Oh, but ask it.
Freeman or Cignetti? Who would you rather have running your team right now? Who's
right now? Cignetti. Right now, Cignetti.
You both would have Cignetti. You said that so quickly.
Cignetti took Indiana to the national championship. Marcus Freeman couldn't even get Notre Dame to the playoffs last year.
Okay. Notre Dame will never have a problem with facilities, never have a problem with recruits, never have a problem with resources. Indiana?
Notre Dame should have been in the playoff last year. I know they would have been.
But they weren't.
I know. No,
let's stop that argument. They weren't in the playoffs.
They weren't in the playoffs. They're better than James Madison. They're better than, what was it, with Tulane? They're better than both those teams. Don't tell me they're not.
I agree with you. I think the criteria is flawed. I think the committee was flawed in their decision-making last year.
This all goes back to my...
But to litigate it now, I think is foolish.
Maybe. But I would still take Marcus Freeman over Kurt Cignetti. I think... And a lot is because... You want to do a break? Go ahead.
Well, no. I was going to say, it's a different question, what you asked us, than what you're about to say. So we'll hear what you were about to say, because these are two different questions. Right now, or 2 years from now, or 3 years from now.
Okay.
Hear it next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Delaware County Veterans Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of veteran county veteran service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment? Facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veterans Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veterans Services.
Your plate is full every morning. Thanks to the $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. Freshly brewed coffee, a hearty breakfast sandwich with a freshly cracked egg, and a daily baked donut. All of that for just $6. Yeah, that is a full plate for sure, but it's one less thing on your plate to worry about. So enjoy it to its fullest. The $6 Tim's Trio, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons, at participating U.S. restaurants.
Get your day started with T-Bone and Tybus weekday mornings from 6 to 9 here on The Fan. You think that a radio lifer and a national title winner wouldn't have much in common, but you'd be wrong. They're both girthy, they both love football, and they both get racially profiled for completely different reasons. It's like driving to work with your friends, except these friends give away tickets to things and talk to all the important people in town. Your actual friends are probably a bunch of losers. Well, anyway, listen to T-Bone and Tybus live on The Fan app, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman, and for the longest time, I figured the less I did, the less I'd hurt. Well, I figured wrong. Something always happens, and when it does, I've always gone to Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. They rank #1 in Ohio and top 5 in the nation for orthopedics. So whether you're struggling with ongoing pain or facing a sudden orthopedic injury, you can always schedule an appointment directly with their physicians. No referral required. Start with the specialists. Start at orthopedic1.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I lost count of how many foster homes I lived in. 20, maybe more. Each time, a new family, a new room, but never a space that felt like mine.
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a permanent home.
Now I have my own room and decorated it myself. And just like my family, it's mine to keep.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Dip it, dunk it, smother it. It's queso gone wild at Hothead Burritos. Try our new loaded potatoes covered in queso and topped off with hardwood smoked bacon, burritos, bowls, nachos, and more. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some queso.
Relax and let Kroger Delivery handle your grocery shopping this week. We start with only the freshest items. Then we carefully pack your order in our refrigerated trucks, so your food stays cool and fresh on its way to your door. And right now, you can save $30 on your first pickup or delivery order and get unlimited free delivery. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Experience the adrenaline of Barrett Jackson in Columbus, Ohio, June 25th to 27th. See hundreds of no-reserve collector cars cross the auction block, interactive sponsor displays, and a wide selection of food and drinks. It's an exciting, high-octane event for fans of all ages. Tickets on sale now at barrett-jackson.com.
What can ADP do for small business? We help answer the business questions, like how do you track employee time? How do you do payroll taxes? Or what does compliance even mean? So small businesses can focus on bigger questions. Now florists can ask, can we invent another holiday to sell bouquets? Pizza shops can ask, how do we stuff a calzone into a pizza crust? And pool cleaners can ask, what is that thing in the filter? These are the questions you can focus on when ADP takes care of the business of your small business. ADP for small business.
Common Man and Timmy, they're good, clean boys. If you enjoy a radio show hosted by immature men with slightly above average sports knowledge, they've got you covered.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It's shaping up to be an absolutely beautiful Saturday with plenty of sunshine and warm temperatures all across the area. Highs climbing into the mid-80s today, but you're going to have a lot of sun and a pretty high UV today. So if you're heading outside, make sure you bring your sunscreen. Tonight, we're going to see a couple more clouds roll in, but staying pretty mild with lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, we have a chance of rain and storms returning on your Sunday. I'm your 10 Weather Impact meteorologist, Lily Aldrich, with the 97.1 The Fan.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Live, local, and still slightly drunk.
I'm not drunk, all right? I just have a speech impediment.
This is Fan Sports Saturday.
And a gorgeous Saturday at that. We thank you for making us just a little bit of that. Eric Rieser, Jeff Thidoff. Nate's with us as well. We'll be back. We'll be out next Saturday. Tito, at least I will not be here.
I was going to say.
I will be at the Fan 5K. Year 2 for the race. Still time to register if you'd like to make it up there. The gorgeous campus of Otterbein University in downtown Westerville. 971therace.com.
I will be here.
You're doing the Saturday Spectacular.
Yeah. Well, if you're not going to be here, it's not really. It's a Saturday. It's an average Saturday. If you're
call
not
it what
here.
you want.
No, it's not. It's
85 and sunny today, 85 and sunny next Saturday. But again, 971therace.com. There's still time to sign up. Get about 1,000 of us up there running around Westerville. It'll be a great time. You had asked a question at the end of last segment about who would you rather have as your college football coach right now? And I think what you meant to ask is, well, and let me ask you, did you mean to ask right now or in 5 years? Because I think those are two different things. If I can get a coach right now, other than Ryan Day, I'm going to go with Curt Cignetti. But for a 5-year stretch, Curt Cignetti or Marcus Freeman, I would take Freeman.
Then I misrepresented the question. I was like, I guess what I meant to say was you hire one right now. I'm not saying just for 1 year.
I'm hiring Marcus.
Right. I wasn't saying just like 1 year and the guy's gone.
Right.
I'm talking about like who would you rather have as your college football coach? And and usually it means more than 1 year, I guess. And I didn't really stipulate that. But like as great as Cignetti's been in his 2-year span at Indiana, based on Freeman's history of success, and I know it does not include a national championship. I know it doesn't.
Pretty damn close 1 year.
Came really close 1 year, yes. But I have more faith having Marcus Freeman as my head coach than Curt Cignetti.
And I think Marcus was probably the hottest commodity from the NFL in terms of college coaches. Yeah. I think that's next for him, but I would expect him to be in South Bend for a couple more years.
Mm-hmm.
Just right now, just what Cignetti's done is incredible. So that will always factor, I think, into a preseason rankings as the head coach. It should. I just don't know if that should be the biggest factor in this. And when I look at Adam Rittenberg's future rankings, he's got Notre Dame number 1. And sure, CJ Carr is great. We're splitting hairs here because this is the top of the mountain in college football. So I'm comparing Notre Dame only to Ohio State, only to Texas, only to Oregon, only to Georgia, Alabama, Indiana. Now you have to say Indiana because they're the defending national champions. But those are the hairs you're splitting when you're talking about the best of the best.
Do you think 5 years from now, Indiana's in the same spot there? I'm not saying national champion.
I do not.
But 5 years, like perennial top 10 preseason team. We'll say preseason.
No.
I don't think so either. But why do you think that?
Because I think it winds down. I think it winds down for Cignetti. I think they will always be good as long as he's their coach. But I think for them, it'll fluctuate.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure you can keep doing the brand new quarterback every year thing. Eventually, you've got to go down and recruit your guy and get him developed in the program. And he's going to try his third quarterback in 3 seasons. And I don't know how long that can. I don't know. That doesn't have, in my opinion, staying power.
See, that's where I look at it. Like, if I tell you Signetti's there for the next 5 years, does it change your end? Because I'm not convinced Signetti will be there for 5 years.
They're better the longer he's there.
Right.
But they're not national championship contender every year he's there.
And the way that you mentioned the thing about the quarterbacks, 3 quarterbacks in 3 years, cycling them and doing that.
Yeah.
I think it damages the integrity of your program if that's how you do it. I think it's important for Ryan Day. I think it's very important for Ryan Day at Ohio State, for Tavion State Clear to be the starting quarterback someday.
Yes.
I think that if after this year, let's say Saying goes pro,
he'll be the starting quarterback next year.
And Ohio State goes out and gets somebody, says, you know what, this guy's available, and he's had 3 years of experience somewhere else. We think we're going to bring him in. I think that damages the integrity of the program.
Yeah.
So that's where it could hurt Indiana, I think.
Yeah, and I think Miami's in a similar boat. I think it was really, really important for Dan Lanning to keep Dante Moore. I don't think Dylan Raiola's any good.
Good, Dylan Raiola.
I think Dylan Raiola, I should preface that. I think I should rephrase it, I should say. I think Dylan Raiola is good, but I don't think Dylan Raiola is going to win you a national championship. I don't even think Dylan Raiola is going to win you a Big Ten championship.
Dylan Raiola, he among former guys who committed to Ohio State that ended up leaving Ohio State, and like Dylan Raiola and Tate Martell are 2 guys I hate the most, and I've never really loved them, and I do hate them. I do. Martell's annoying. Martell coming out and saying, "Oh, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying, win the job, and then lose the job and transfers out and ends up being a wide receiver at Miami for a while or whatever it is, and then I don't know where he ended up, but." And Dylan Raiola, I'm coming to Ohio. I'm going to recruit guys for there. Just kidding. I'm going to Georgia. I'm going to move there and go to high school, play high school there. And I'm going to recruit guys to Georgia.
Just kidding.
By the way, I'm going to Nebraska. This is where I want to be. And now I'm going to be at Oregon as the backup.
And that's what I think with the quarterback conversation in college gets so fascinating.
Yeah.
Because these guys, Dylan Raiola's, the Brendan Sorsby's, they're just mercenaries. There's no connection. You don't have a connection to them. And I do think that's part of that. I think Ryan Day understands that, how important it is to have your quarterback not only be in your system, be with your program, understand the culture, but really be a part of your community.
And it's very wrong for me to have that take on Raiola, because I know how stupid I was when I was in high school. And if I had opportunities like he had, I'm not saying I would have made the same decisions. Like I would fall for the next shiny thing. Oh my God, Kirby Smart wants me. I'm going to Georgia.
I couldn't imagine being in that situation where you're getting Dan Lanning, Kirby Smart, Ryan Day.
Yes.
Matt Rule still has some pull.
I know. And it's like the fact his uncle was on the staff.
And they're calling me and they're texting me.
I know. I would be like, oh, yeah, I'll go there.
So cool. I want to go there. I want to go to all of these places.
Nebraska's the best.
I think it says more about the people around Dylan Raiola that they allowed this whole thing to happen.
Right.
To where he's now the backup with 2 years of eligibility left at Oregon.
Right, I know.
Than anything with Dylan, because it really does, to me, go to the adults,
right?
That are telling these, they're advising these kids, like with Brendan Sorsby. I go, where's the support system in this?
And it could be
who isn't sitting Brendan Sorsby down saying, dude, no, like this is going to be a stain on your final year in college,
right?
This is gonna hurt, I think, more than it helps. Now, he might ball out, go to the NFL as a first, second round pick, and forget all about this and not care. I just, from a personal standpoint, I just wish I wish they would care about those things.
This is a bad way to phrase the question, but is he betting on himself?
Yeah.
Or would he betting on himself more if he said, you know what, I don't need this. I'm going to go to the supplemental draft. I'm betting on myself to make money in the NFL, or I'm betting on myself that I can have a good college,
just be doing the right thing.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying.
I would say to leave college early is a bet on yourself.
Okay.
I would say that's probably the biggest bet on yourself, is to leave college with eligibility on the table to go try the NFL waters.
Yeah.
However, if everybody around you is saying, no, Brendan, we're in the right here. We're going to do this. We're going to make it through. You're going to play. It's not going to be a problem. You'll miss 2 weeks. We're just going to business as usual. As soon as you get to the football season, nothing to worry about here. Then I think it's a failure on leadership there at Texas Tech. And I would wish that somebody would step in and say, this is wrong. We can't do it.
Yeah.
I understand that that's not going to be the case because integrity in the sport is dead. A man of great integrity. Tyler Danberg will join us in 2 minutes. It's Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Get Eco.
Jerry, you're the kind of guy who likes to save money while you do good for the planet, right?
Well, that's why I invented the biodegradable doggy poop bag, Aaron. I'm ecological and economical.
Well, usually the most economical thing you can do when your air conditioner dies is get it repaired. A quick fix can give you years more service.
That sounds economical.
But with older models, those repairs can get pretty expensive, and it'll still use way more energy than a newer model does.
Which is less ecological and less economical.
Get Eco.
You see where I'm going with this, Jerry?
I sure do. As hard as it is to toss out your old AC and replace the whole thing, it could actually be cheaper in the long run.
Get Eco.
Are you really a big deal in the poop bag industry, Jerry?
The doggos love me, Aaron.
Get Eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
No hot takes, no dancing, plenty of stupid. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Garnish your Bloody Mary with sports talk. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Going out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Bring on great friend of the program, Tyler Danberg of the Ohio State Sports Network. Tyler, thanks so much for the time. Since it is top of mind with the Brendan Sorsby saga, everything that you've seen and heard from Lubbock, from the state of Texas, how do you see this playing out with Sorsby and his eligibility?
That's a great question. First off, Tito, Ricky Rieser, for those that tuned in last week, great to be with you guys.
All right, cut him. We're done. We're done this morning.
Sorry, I put that in the calendar, by the way. Wanted to fulfill that promise. But no, Eric, great to be with you, and that's a great question. It'll be really interesting to see kind of the ripple effect that this has, not just on Sorsby and seeing how his eligibility plays out. I mean, just given the urgency of the NCAA's appeal of the ruling is just goes to show you that they clearly see differently than the Lubbock County Court. It is just interesting to see the proximity to Lubbock and to see where that ruling was made and the decision that was made. Also comparing and contrasting kind of the similarity to that of Trinidad Chambliss's injunction, obviously a completely different scenario, but the whole eligibility and local court injunction situation, I think, is going to be an interesting development that we see down the road. And I know Clemson just had a wide receiver get an eligibility injunction over the weekend. But, I think the NCAA is clearly going to want to try and appeal this, get as much of a hard definition of what this could look like. But I just think it is really unique, just given the situation of, first off, Brendan Sorsby's mental well-being and everything that goes in relation to that. But I really do have an interest in seeing where this goes and if Sorsby is going to take another snap in college, because obviously the court made its ruling, but it seems like we have a long ways to go.
Tyler, you've got a year under your belt now doing what you're doing as far as with in the capacity you're doing it here with the Fan. And as you get ready for the upcoming football season, I know we're still a couple of months away from that, but how are you preparing differently, or what about you as in your career, when you look at what you did last year, your performance last year as a sideline reporter for Ohio State, what kind of things, and you look at it and say, you know what, I need to do this better, or I'm glad I did this as well as I did, or how do you critique yourself and get ready for the upcoming season?
Absolutely. I think self-criticism is probably the biggest thing. And I'd start with Tito going back and listening to the content of what was used on the sideline, and figuring out what worked best, trying to be brevet as much as possible, I think is probably going to be the biggest thing heading in, is trying to be more concise, trying to be as conversational as possible, and try to continue to see what it is that Paul and Jim might not be able to see, and try to make it as much of a conversation as possible. Maybe Jim mentioned something during a drive that will allow my eyes to kind of turn to maybe Jim seeing something, or maybe he's asking a question in his analysis that maybe we could go down to the sideline and check on more. I think the other thing too, Tito, is time. Getting here in August, wrapping up the minor league baseball season first week in August, and then really diving into the biographical information on the players and trying to figure out and dig as deep into storylines as possible, and trying to build the relationships within the program. You know, it was about a 3-week process, whereas now there's a lot more time. So already, you know, building all that biographical information, and having, I think the other thing too is that last year there were a lot of returning players from covering the team as a student that allowed for some familiarity. But this year, with 51 newcomers and 28 in the freshman class, 23 transfers coming in, I think it's made for a fun challenge to try and be as familiar with as many of the newcomers as possible. That will allow that familiarity to really feel seamless by the time fall camp rolls around.
Tyler Danberg is our guest, is the Ohio State football sideline reporter for the Ohio State Sports Network. I did a quick Google, Tyler. 84 days until the boot meets the ball at Ohio Stadium between the Buckeyes and the Cardinals of Ball State. An odd kind of 12:30 kick time for that one. But Tyler, as you start doing that prep work towards the season, is there one thing about this Buckeye team in 2026 that you didn't think you'd be as interested in, that you're finding yourself looking more into?
Well, I am really excited about the offensive line, and I think the excitement was always going to be there, and the curiosity about the offensive line, just because the way that they finished last year compared to the way that they entered the playoff with all that momentum coming in off the Michigan game. I think the other curiosity that kind of boils into it, Eric, is that, you know, that the offensive line returns the most active power force snaps among any offensive line unit in the country. If not, it's right up there. And I think that still there's a lot of different combinations and possibilities that I think Tyler Bowen, Arthur Smith, and company can really put together. I'm intrigued to see Austin Sareveld, where he shakes out. I mean, the left tackle last year, starting all 14 games, one of the best run block grades according to PFF in the country, but he's got a lot of versatility. Maybe it allows him to swing inside and play a little, maybe a little guard, like he did as a starter in the playoff run in 2024. And Ian Moore as a left tackle created so much noise, I think, in a small sample size, getting the start in his home state of Indiana at Purdue in November last year. Luke Montgomery was saying everybody knows that this guy could be a first rounder when it's all said and done. And I think when, you know, you look at the Miami game, I always remember when Tyler Bowen kind of called Ian Moore aside when Sareveld was banged up a bit, and he called Ian Moore's number. And that was right before that 13-play, 84-yard drive. And when Moore came in, it really kind of provided a nice little instant shock for the offense. And I think Sareveld's versatility is going to be so key. Obviously, you've got Hinsman. It's interesting because Carson Hinsman, Kenyatta Jackson, and Bennett Christian, that's all that's left from the class of 2022 coming in for Ohio State. So where can those guys take an even step further in the leadership? And I think leadership is going to be another thing that I'm really excited about as fall camp really rolls around. Who takes that step? Who takes that voice? Kenyatta is definitely going to be a leader in the clubhouse. Brandon Innes being a captain as a junior, I think it proves that he's going to be probably maybe the biggest voice. And then Jeremiah Smith is voice that he wants to be a captain. He wants to take that extra step as leader. I think that's another belt in it, or another little notch in his belt heading into his highly anticipated junior year.
Does Julian Sayin, you think, nationally, kind of a raw deal? Because I know he's a Heisman finalist last year, but it's hard to get that if you're a Heisman finalist, a raw deal from the national perception. But because of the fact he's got Jeremiah Smith and such great weapons like last year with Tate and this year with the weapons he's got coming back and also adding Chris Henry Jr., that he gets kind of a bad rap because it's like, well, yeah, sure, he's a great quarterback. Look who he throws to.
That's a great point, Tito, and I think you're right. I think that and maybe that adds to a little chip on his shoulder. Like you go back to the Heisman media availability, and it was just Julian talking to the great Buckeye reporter Blake Biscardi, and I give Blake a lot of credit, and I give Julian a lot of credit. That's going to help them and their relationship going forward. But I think that everybody is kind of all shifted over towards Fernando Mendoza, and rightfully so. But I think all this perception and reception and the outside noise, I think it could create a little bit of a chip on the shoulder. But just in talking to Julian, that stuff really doesn't matter to him. He just wants to win football games. He wants to get the ball to his guys. He wants the team to win, and he wants the best for others. He's just such a selfless guy, and I think he's super poised and super composed, and that California cool that Will Howard talks about is probably going to help him. But I do think that there might be not a bad rap, but just a national underratedness when you look at Julian Sayin, and I think that can only help him moving forward. And I think that next step is his legs, and Ryan Day talked about that aplenty in the offseason. They're going to need Julian's legs and his ability to extend plays and maybe break contain, get out of the pocket, and pick up some chunk yards and get some first downs on the ground in addition to the air.
Tyler, with the upcoming schedule the Buckeyes have in 2026, do you think there's any talk at all right now about getting Tavian St. Clair proper reps with the full complement of Ohio State's offense this season? Or are they focused on making sure Julian's healthy, upright, progressing, and they're progressing through the season?
I think it might be a game-by-game basis, but I think that when you're looking at the long run, and again, I think Coach Day and his staff do a great job of not looking ahead. They're trying to win the game. Their feet are where their feet are, but they also know that they got a long stretch run. I think what they did in 2024 and kind of balancing being present with also trying to gear themselves towards that long stretch, I think goes to show you kind of how they balance a little bit of both. And I do think it is important for Tavian St. Clair to get some reps and some snaps. I mean, he threw 2 passes last year in the Grambling State game, but again, it was late in the game in what was, an almost 70-point victory. So I think that if the timing is right, if they feel like they're in a spot where maybe they can get him 3 or 4 series in those games against Ball State and Toledo specifically, and maybe if there's a chance to squeeze him in at some point, even if it's just to take snaps and hand off the football to some of the running backs in a Big Ten game, I think can be really important. And Ryan Day said it. He said, we're going to need Tavian. We're going to need a big offseason from him. And I think what he showed in the spring game, it goes to show you the flashes that he can have. And I think it could be really good for Julian Sayin's workload if Tavian were able to take a couple of series and a couple of snaps late in ball games, especially in the early conference schedule and the non-conference schedule.
Tyler, despite your earlier Ricky Rieser transgression, it was wonderful having you on this morning, bud. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you guys for having me. Eric, Tito, Nate, always appreciate it. You guys are the best.
Tyler comes to us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline.
Come on,
tremendous pull out of him. I almost for a second there forgot that we did that. We were sequestered last week in the Muirfield media room at the 50th Memorial Tournament. But again, thank you so much to Tyler Danberg for his time. So we here in Buckeye Country think Ohio State's going to be great. What about nationally? What are some of the biggest names in college football saying about the Buckeyes? You'll hear some of it next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
There's this thing repair people do nowadays.
Mappo's Plumbing. Sure, we do have a dispatch fee. It's $1 zillion.
A dispatch fee, a trip charge, going out to your house bill.
Bippity Bing Bong Electrical. Our trip charge is a nice new car.
But not Apex Pros, the pros who knows. When you call Apex for repairs on your AC, plumbing, or electric, there's no dispatch fee.
Thank you for calling Apex Pros. Why would we? Kinda silly to ask for money before we do anything, isn't it?
We give you an upfront price only after we know what's really going on. We think it's the right thing to do, instead of...
Slappy's AC, electric, plumbing, dry cleaning, haberdashery, and chiropractic. Of course we charge to come out. $1 kajillion, 3 diamond rings, and 2 exotic pets.
Apex Pros. Never a dispatch fee. Examples of competitive rates may have been slightly exaggerated.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Did you know you can save up to $35 on your next fill-up? Redeem your points for big savings at the pump. Exclusions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Your plate is full every morning. Thanks to the $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. Freshly brewed coffee, a hearty breakfast sandwich with a freshly cracked egg, and a daily baked donut. All of that for just $6. Yeah, that is a full plate for sure, but it's one less thing on your plate to worry about. So enjoy it to its fullest. The $6 Tim's Trio, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons, at participating U.S. restaurants.
Thinking about making the switch to hybrid or even all-electric? Germain Honda of Dublin has you covered. Explore the Honda hybrid lineup, including the Accord Hybrid, CR-V Hybrid, and Civic Hybrid. Or experience Honda's all-electric Prologue SUV. You'll get the efficiency you want, the reliability Honda is known for, and great offers available across the lineup. See why more Central Ohio drivers are choosing Honda electrified vehicles at Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road or online at germainhondaofdublin.com.
Join T-Bone and Tyvis mornings on The Fan for football, food, and fun, featuring T-Bone.
Now, when you were talking about the football stuff, I was listening, but when you said Waffle House, I leaned forward in my chair.
And national champ Tyvis Powell.
I was staring myself in the mirror for a good 10 minutes today looking at it.
Where they solve all the world's complex problems.
We're not putting the toothpaste back in the toothpaste container.
Sponsored by Capital Ford of Columbus.
Football, food, and fun with T-Bone and Tyvis. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on The Fan.
Craving the O? Now it comes to you. For loyal fans, the O on Lane is now offering the O on the Go catering delivery. Perfect for the office or any group. Order boxed lunches or group catering right now at theoonlane.com. The O on the Go, delivered fresh, delivered easy.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
Hey, it's Timmy Hall for Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice, Orthopedic One. A couple years ago, I felt like I was breezing through life. I was tearing through rounds of golf, and it hit me. Excruciating hip pain. Hip that would not go away until I saw my friends at Orthopedic One. Then, bye-bye pain. So if you're dealing with constant pain or you suffered an injury, start with the specialist. Start at orthopedic1.com. There's no referral required, and there's several convenient locations in Central Ohio. Schedule your appointment at orthopedic1.com.
Oh my, do I have World Cup fever. Scotty Vegas here, and the next Team USA game is Friday at 3 o'clock. So let's play some hooky from work and meet up at the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. We have contests, games, and huge prizes to give away. Wear your red, white, and blue. Watch the game on the best screen in Columbus. Pro tip, order the soft pretzel. It's the size of a soccer ball and delicious. See you Friday at 3 at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Disaster strike, fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. Direct Relief delivers. No politics, no red tape. Direct Relief is a lifeline to people in crisis. So check them out at directrelief.org. And if you can, donate.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now. The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by KD HVAC, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan, we firmly believe it's appropriate to tailgate before a youth soccer game. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
It was about a 10-year stretch, I'd say, between 2011 and 2021, where this time every year I would go, became Giant Eagle, but first was Barnes & Noble, and pick up Phil Steele's College Football Preview magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had that thing on my bookshelf for a decade. I had, it was more than just a decade, but it was consistently for 10 years.
Yeah.
I bought that thing. And now it's available on an iPad version, and so that's where I'll be getting that. But that is, for me, and I think for a lot of us out there, the Bible for the sport. Now, it's very difficult, the job that he has to curate all of this, the conversations he has with all of the different coaches. But to do it now in a transfer portal era, to try to retain all of that roster information and keep it up to date is an incredible job. And I think he does as best as humanly possible. So it's something I look forward to every year.
Yeah, the Steele thing for me, and I know, Reese, you said, and rightfully so, that Memorial Tournament's the unofficial start of summer.
Mm-hmm.
The unofficial start of pool season for me is the Steele magazine, because I'll buy it and go sit out there. Well, I'll get in the water, but still not with the magazine. But the kids are out there swimming. I'll read that book. And I know what you're saying about the digital version, but there's something about it for me, and I think it's just nostalgic reasons.
Sure.
Trees be damned, that I've got to have the physical one in my hands. And I've got to be able to, I've done the digital version before, and it's great. It's all it's all good stuff. But I'm just saying, like, I have to be uncomfortably fat in a chair at the pool reading that.
And I think it's something that other sports have tried, but no one's ever been able to match it. And that's what I think is what puts college football ahead of everything. I know the ratings will never match up with the NFL, and I think the NFL is generally more popular. But I think there's more love and passion in this country for college football than there is for the National Football League. And that's why I look to, like Utah and Kentucky's doing it, where they want to bring in private equity. And I understand, as we talked about in the last really 2 hours of the show, how money makes it all go. Mm-hmm. You bring in kind of private equity, you bring in private capital, you bring in these companies that just want to infuse cash but get a return on the investment. The only thing they care about is the ROI. It misses so much of why we love college football. And it tries to purchase something that I don't think you can put a price on, or that you can purchase. Like the memories, the feelings that we have of reading Phil Steele by the pool, or on the airplane, or waiting for your flight, or having that tome next to you as you're watching college football on Saturdays, or when you're reading it before you go out to a tailgate, or before you go out to High Street, and before you go out and cheer on Ohio State with 100,000 plus. I mean, that's just, those are feelings and things that you remember through your entire life. And when I go, when I think to what the Big Ten was trying to do and get in bed with that private capital firm, I go, what's private equity done to make anything better?
That's a great question.
When you see a private equity venture capitalist, when they infuse money into something, they buy part of that.
Right.
What in anything in your life has been made better by that? Right. And I can't think of anything. Hot Chicken Takeover screams into the front of my skull because of how I loved Hot Chicken Takeover when it was owned locally, and it was done well. And then private capital comes in. I know, like, Darius Garland was part of the money that was infused, and it just went to hell because it was only about a balance sheet. And that's what it's just. There's so much more to things like college football than just a balance sheet for me.
There is. No, and that goes to the whole point about, like, what do you, I know Jerry Seinfeld always made the joke that you're out there rooting for laundry is what you're doing. When you root for a sports team, you're rooting for laundry is all you're rooting for. And, but you're right, though. I much like the hesitancy, naivete of me is that, if I'm using that word correctly there, but is that I just want to think about the game, the players, watching that. I don't want to see all the sausages made. I don't want to know all that. I
don't need to know that Texas Tech's quarterback was gambling and he somehow found the right judge to give him an injunction allowing him to play. I don't want to.
I don't need to know all that.
I do think it is a responsibility that we have, laughable as that might be, Tito, that you and I have responsibility, but that we have microphones and we do have the platform of 97.1 The Fan, that we are out here saying it's wrong. Texas Tech should do the right thing. I would hope if Ohio State was in the same situation where they had a quarterback with as egregious of eligibility concerns as Brendan Sorsby does, that the Buckeyes would say, no, quarterback one, you are on the bench. I would hope that they would do that, and I would want them to do that, and I would hope that I would be on this station calling for the same thing.
Give me the Neo pill where I forget all this stuff, though, when I get off the air.
Yeah.
Give me the Neo pill on Saturday and Sundays.
There's so much of college football that college football fans are just like, I just want the games. I don't care how the rest of it goes.
Right. Show me the marching band. You know what I mean? Show me the kickoff. Let's have fun and watch the game. Yeah. And then we'll tailgate. We'll do all that. And then we'll complain about where they're ranked. But I don't need to know all the other stuff.
We love a good ranking, don't we? We love a good preseason, regular season, college football playoff.
Yes.
Way too early top 25.
Mock drafts.
We love all of these.
Oh, yes.
Things. Phil Steele has his preseason offensive player of the year, Jeremiah Smith. And grass is green. Except in Kentucky, where they claim it's blue. But whatever. ESPN says Jeremiah is the number 1 wide receiver in college football. Again, water can get you wet. Miami's Malachi Toney's number 2. We saw that firsthand. Where Malachi Toney's incredible, and it's a lot of fun to watch him play football. Like, I'm very interested to see how Darian Mensah works with the Miami Hurricanes. Jeremiah is also on Phil Steele's preseason All Big Ten team. Jeremiah, Bo Jackson, Austin Sareveld, Earl Little Jr., a lot of expectations, a lot of hype for him this season, starting back there and trying to make up for losing Caleb Downs. There's not ever going to be a player, in my opinion, that's going to be able to do everything that Caleb Downs did.
No way.
But I think Earl Little is a quality replacement for what he'll be asked.
We'll go Moneyball. We'll place with the aggregate. That's what we're going to do. Yeah.
And just, again, there's nothing against any of the safeties that Ohio State's going to trot out there in the next 10 years, but there will not be Caleb Downs.
No.
Dalton Riggs, the long snapper, is also on Phil Steele's
huge
preseason first team All Big Ten. On the second team quarterback, Julian Sane. He's got Dante Moore as his first team All Big Ten. Luke Montgomery, defensive tackle John Walker, Peyton Pierce, Devin Sanchez on the second team preseason All Big Ten. Then the third team, Carson Hinsman, Phillip Daniels, Quay Russo, Kenyatta Jackson Jr., Christian Allegro. Again, third team, Phil Steele preseason All Big Ten. On the fourth team, I think the savior of this Buckeye program, kicker Connor Hawkins. Come and save this program and make 50-yard field goals where you don't have to worry about that in the fall.
Look,
Connor Hawkins, you are our only hope.
My take on kickers and punters. I said this last night, too, so if you listened last night, I apologize.
You did the Buckeye show last night.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Did Morning Juice in the Buckeye show.
You billing overtime?
Yeah. Thursday and Friday I did both shows.
Good.
Yeah, both. Yeah, double duty on those. Sorry to the listeners. But anyway.
Yeah.
I would never. You said too quickly. And
I sure did.
That was awfully quick. You could have said something else. Anyway.
I could have. You're right.
You're right. It's fine. No worries. Luckily, I've got a short memory. But I would never recruit kickers or punters out of high school again. Ever.
No, there's wide receiver, quarterback, best player in your state are the only ones I'm going after hard in high school.
Give me a kicker who's kicked for 2 years on the MAC and showed he can make 50-yarders, or somebody, give me a punter who's already had 2 or 3 years of college football somewhere else, and I'll just pay them more.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
The Miami and Texas Tech going after $5-6 million left tackles? No, thank you.
No.
I have not seen them against collegiate competition.
Nope.
I'm not putting that kind of money out there. Unless it's a 5-star best prospect in your state.
Orlando Pace, I would do that. As a freshman.
Type tackle.
Right, something like that. But if it's somebody else, I've seen too many guys. When you look at their high school tape, it's like, oh, yeah, that guy you just beat up, the 5'7" kid who's over there playing, Yeah, you're right. He bulldozed that guy. No offense, 5'7" guys.
Well, look, 5'7" guys, and I can speak as a 5'6" guy, have been that height for a good long while.
Yes.
Nothing I can do about it.
Right.
Yeah. So you just kind of accept that.
Right.
84 days until the start of Ohio State's football season. That doesn't mean I want to wish the summer away. Zach Wierenski, I think, just jumped to the top of the Blue Jackets summer to-do list. We'll discuss that next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Your plate is full every morning. Thanks to the $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. Freshly brewed coffee, a hearty breakfast sandwich with a freshly cracked egg, and a daily baked donut. All of that for just $6. Yeah, that is a full plate for sure, but it's one less thing on your plate to worry about. So enjoy it to its fullest. The $6 Tim's Trio, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons, at participating U.S. restaurants.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Bring your landscape back to life with an unbeatable deal from Ohio Mulch. 5 bags of premium mulch for just $10. You choose from absolute black, brown, or red to make your flowers pop and your curb appeal shine. Visit ohiomulch.com to find a location near you.
Recalculating route. Estimated arrival time. Never.
For people with nasal congestion, snoring, or sleep apnea, finding a solution feels like a never-ending road trip.
First stop, my primary doctor. Then the pharmacy. Then a sleep specialist. Then an ENT.
What if there was just one destination for all your problems?
Welcome to Advent, your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care in one location. Over 95% of patients with severe nasal breathing issues report improvement. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
You have arrived at Clear Breathing.
Common Man here. Join me June 20th for the Common Man Mile at this year's Fan 5K in Westerville. Get signed up at 971therace.com.
The 97.1 The Fan 5K is presented by Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, and the Common Man Mile is sponsored by Rose Pest Solutions. Rose Pest Solutions has been protecting Columbus homes and businesses for over 165 years. Got a pest problem? Rose is the solution. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com.
Welcome to Hollywood Casino.
What can I get you?
How you doing, Columbus? The same Hollywood you know, with a new hotel to love. Hollywood Casino and Hotel Columbus, coming June 2026. Book now. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Dip it, dunk it, smother it. It's queso gone wild at Hothead Burritos. Try our new loaded potatoes covered in queso and topped off with hardwood smoked bacon, burritos, bowls, nachos, and more. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some queso.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
I'm Nate Puderbaugh with your sports update. The United States began their World Cup campaign with a bang, blasting Paraguay 4-1. It was the most goals the United States had ever scored in World Cup competition, and Florian Balogun was the first American since 1933 to score multiple goals in a World Cup match. The United States faces Australia on Friday. World Cup action today sees Qatar taking on Switzerland, Brazil battling Morocco, and Haiti squaring off with Scotland. The NBA tonight sees the Knicks trying to close out the NBA Finals on the road at San Antonio. Tip-off is at 8:30. The Cleveland Guardians snapped a 4-game skid last night, beating the Tigers at home 3-2. Tanner Bybee struck out 8 in the win. They square off again this afternoon at 4:10. The Cincinnati Reds have now dropped 8 of their last 11 games, losing to the Diamondbacks last night 5-2. Game 2 of that series is this afternoon at 4:10 with Rhett Lauder on the mound for the Reds. Catch the action right here on The Fan. Bringing sports news weapons to the Fan, Ohio Sports Destination.
Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we shut up. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
No, you're dealing with us for another hour. Rieser, Tito, heard Nate there in the update. USA, number 1. All other countries in football, number 2 or lesser. 4-1 win over Paraguay, a great way to open World Cup play, especially as you are one of 3 host countries.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Australia next Friday night, or Friday afternoon, I should say, at Lumen Field in Seattle. So that'll be a better time. I think even with the 9 o'clock, y'all showed out last night at Bridge Park.
Yes.
The Columbus Crew held a soccer watch party, or a soccer celebration, as they phrased it. And it's a really, really great job out of the local team in supporting. Not only you have one of your players from the Crew represented here, but you have such, I think, needs to be a more vocal embrace of the game, a more vocal embrace of the sport. I think what Columbus and what Central Ohio does so well is how this place, how you embrace sports.
Are we the soccer capital of the United States?
I would claim it. Multi-time MLS Cup champs.
Mm-hmm.
Great track record of success for Team USA here, playing international friendlies and international matches. A women's soccer team that's on the way here.
Yeah.
This place embraces it as much as anybody. And that's even with so many other things that are elite.
Yeah.
That's with one of the best minor league baseball teams in the entire
Beautiful
country.
facility,
An
yes.
incredible farm system.
Yeah.
That's with a professional hockey team. And we'll get to the Blue Jackets here in a sec. But this is really the only place that offers all of that, but the King is still your college football program.
Right.
And when I see people say that this place, Columbus, could do an NBA team and a WNBA team, I think probably, I don't necessarily, I think that might be doing too much. I think the support would be there. I would just say Columbus has enough.
Yeah, I think it'd be...
From the Big Four perspective.
If there was not a professional basketball team in Cleveland already, if Ohio needed one,
right.
Yeah, I get it.
And and again, the conversations can be had because of the support that you guys give. Like, there are no fans, in my opinion, like Columbus and like Ohio sports fans. I wanted to touch on a couple things in the YouTube chat. This from Antonio, who chimes in about Brendan Sorsby. The NCAA would have a field day if Ohio State did what Texas Tech did. And Texas Techie ads are desperate in the state of Texas. This whole thing is desperation from what Tech is doing. They are desperate to win now. They went into the portal to get a quarterback from Cincinnati. They paid him $6 million. And then this all happens, and they're desperate to get that return on investment because they're so desperate to win that they went and found a judge that would offer this injunction to the NCAA's eligibility ruling. This is all desperation. Now, this isn't unique desperation, because there are so many programs out there that have just never won that are desperate. I can't imagine Oregon and Phil Knight, how much money he's poured into that program, and they've got no national championships to show for it.
Nothing.
So the desperation's everywhere, and I think he's absolutely right. I chime back in, I say it would lead all the sports centers, because I think back to how deep it went with Ohio State and Tatgate.
Yeah.
And thinking that it was fodder for everybody. This is Texas Tech, so the
Claret stuff too.
The Claret stuff too, where he's throwing the jersey in a trash can. This falls a little bit on the third or fourth rung of the national interest because it's Texas Tech. Like, if this was Texas quarterback, Arch Manning doing this, this also leads all of the sports centers. But I still want to hold out hope, and this is naive hope. I understand that someone will do the right thing and not let Brendan Sorsby play collegiately. His football career is not dead, but what he did, what he admitted to doing, should be enough if we want to maintain any semblance.
Do you think
of structure? He's got to be out.
Do you think if he suffers an injury before the season starts and he's out for the season, someone texts says, "You know what? It's awful. We were going to sit him down anyway. We weren't going to let him play. You know, we look. This is all terrible.
Probably try to gaslight us into thinking.
But tomorrow we were going to make an announcement saying he's sitting out the first half of the season at least."
Yeah. This from Chris. Question non-sports related, which we always love. Going to sister-in-law's birthday cookout at mother-in-law's house. Sister-in-law has a newish boyfriend. Do we make him do the grilling, or should I be a good brother-in-law and take the grill duties? I think you take the grill duties. I don't think you want to test this newish boyfriend just yet.
I have been, while married at my own house, hosting a cookout, pushed off the grill by a friend because I just wasn't doing a good job. It called him the reliever. And
okay, but you made that call. You called the bullpen, or was the call made above your pay grade?
It was above my. It was the right call.
The missus didn't make the call.
No, it was the guy. Jimmy comes over and says, "Hey, I got it. The burger was raw in the middle. I got it."
And having met Chris, I would say I trust him more.
Yeah,
I would think his family probably does as well.
Yeah.
To just man the grill better.
If you're like, I'm not a confident griller. If you're a confident griller, come on, you got it.
If you have the confidence,
yes,
you step up and you make the cookout.
Yes, I'm with you. Totally.
The newish boyfriend, if in fact it's newish, already has enough going on.
Yeah, a little nervous. I got to believe with all this.
Maybe next time, and I think you explain it to him beforehand. Hey, these are going to be your responsibilities. Unless again, your confidence in your grilling abilities is to the point of you're not going to give it to anybody.
Yeah. If you're that cocky about it, it's like, yeah.
If I'm, Steph Curry, you don't need to pass the ball. Just shoot.
Just shoot it. Yeah.
Right.
You're right. Yeah.
Like tonight, Wemby, you get the ball.
Do it.
What's it? Game 5?
Game 5.
Game 5 of the NBA Finals. How invested have you been in this series?
I would say I'm pretty invested. I like the Because without my dog, the Celtics are my dogs. Without my dogs in the fight, it's like, the
Celtics are your dogs. How does that happen?
Dude, because when I first got into basketball.
Explain, Jacob Reimer.
No, when I first got into basketball, it was Larry Bird was the first guy I remember watching playing. And I loved it. Loved Larry Bird. And that was the first foray into it. And my dad rooted for Larry Bird. And so I was like, this is okay. So let's get into it. So, I was a Celtics fan. Always been a Celtics fan. But nonetheless, so once that gets past that, it's like I want a good storyline. And really, either one of these teams winning will be a good storyline. It can be good because Knicks fans are obnoxious. It can also be good because you've got the alien and Wembanyama out there doing it at the age he's doing it, when everyone thought he's probably a year or two away from the Spurs being able to do this.
I don't think we are prepared for how obnoxiously talked about this Knicks team will be if they win this series. Give Stephen A 5 minutes. It will be better than all of Jordan's Bulls teams.
That'll happen. Yeah, for sure.
Brunson's a great story too. The Mavericks had him and Luka at the same time.
Yeah.
It said, you know what, Jalen,
I'm hoping just for a 7-game series.
Me too.
You'll get it in San Antonio for this. I think that's what this deserves, because it has been from a casual NBA fan standpoint without the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's all I want.
Yeah.
And these games have been incredible. Like to 29-point lead. And people were like, this hasn't been done before. I'm like, I'm a Cavs fan. I've seen that exact thing happen.
Right.
New York can't keep getting away with this.
Like the meme where you're pointing at the TV, like, yes.
Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals tomorrow night, or Game 6, I should say, of the Stanley Cup Finals tomorrow night in Las Vegas. John Tortorella, Vegas Knights head coach, is keeping some underwear in Raleigh. Says they're going back to a 7th game. Blue Jackets are still a ways out from realistically competing for Lord Stanley's Cup. Zach Werenski was named for the 2nd straight season of the first team All-NHL. This comes a week after winning the Norris. This comes a week after his best friend requests a trade from Hockeytown.
Yeah.
Requests a trade Dylan Larkin does out of Detroit. So there's speculation abounds, right? And I think for Blue Jackets fans, because you got Zach for 2 years on a contract, he's not going to do what Dylan Larkin did. Now, the Blue Jackets and the Red Wings, I would say, are in kind of the similarly frustrating situation where, the idea is to compete. The idea is to build, but who knows what the hell that looks like right now. And the Blue Jackets are probably in a better spot.
Especially if you add someone like Larkin to it. It's like if you can add him to it, that just it increases all of that.
Larkin's not coming to Columbus.
You don't think so?
No. But
why?
I think...
Why do you say that?
Well, first off, he's not on their list. He's not on the list.
Not on the first. They listed 3, and they went. That's for more. Yeah.
He gave him a list of 3. I think it was Vegas, Florida, Minnesota.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And then Stevie Y went and said, "Can you give us a couple more options?"
Right.
And I think he did. So Dallas, I think Tampa Bay was also part of that for some reason. I still don't get. I get because they're ready to win now, but from a roster standpoint for the Lightning. However, Columbus, you're gonna go from Detroit to Columbus.
Yeah.
If you're looking to win now. Now, maybe Dylan is the piece, and I think he might be, but I maintain that if Detroit's going to send Dylan Larkin anywhere, they're going to want one of, if not your best player in return, your best young player. And for the Blue Jackets, that's a guy whose contract is almost up in Adam Fantilli. Or at least this summer is the time where you need to lock Adam Fantilli down.
I saw him one of the proposed trades or potential trades was it involved Kent Johnson, who I know, Voronkov and some first round pick or 2 involved in that. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
No, but
I can live with that one.
That works.
A couple of first round picks.
Of course, it works for Blue Jackets fans, but I still think if Detroit's serious, they're wanting Fantilli back. And that's the line I won't cross.
I won't cross that line. I won't trade Fantilli. That's if that's what it is. Yeah, I do think for Larkin, but I won't do that to semi-quote meatloaf there. But I would not trade Fantilli.
What I will do, and so this was from Pierre LeBrun about Zach Werenski earlier in the week in the mailbag. Pierre LeBrun covers the NHL for The Athletic. Quote, there's been much speculation about Zach Werenski in the wake of Larkin's trade request, perhaps because they're close friends and fellow Team USA gold medalists. But I can tell you as of Wednesday, I'm told there's not been any communication to the Columbus Blue Jackets indicating that kind of thing on Werenski, who has 2 more years on his deal, end quote. What this does do is move Zach to the top of your list. So you want to extend Fantilli this summer, but you also, I think more so than that, want to extend Zach.
Mm-hmm.
I think you want to make it known to Fantilli that as an organization, we are serious about this, so we're giving you the help that you need. I think Fantilli's the future of your operation. I think so much so that I think he's your captain next season. Werenski's your best player, but I think the future goes through Fantilli, and that's why I'm so bullish about him not being available to the Detroit Red Wings for even the player of Dylan Larkin's caliber.
Yeah, it's
I know.
Werenski, the thought of Werenski leaving feels catastrophic to me.
Yeah.
You know, of him not be, because
how much that could set you back.
Yeah. I don't know.
Now I have faith in the Blue Jackets front office that a Fantilli deal and a Werenski deal will be done this summer.
Me too. I do as well. And I think they're doing the right things organizationally. As far as you bring up the coach from Cleveland to be the assistant coach, kind of like the transition.
Right.
Yes.
Vogelhuber.
Yes, to do that. And so to have that there, I think, in place is a good sign. And I got to believe that Werenski and Fantilli might be a short-term deal, you know, and not a long-term deal, maybe like a 3-year thing versus a long-term.
That would work for me.
It also worked to give more time to try to build this winner there. But the thought of I don't want to have another Jackets player in his prime or near his prime leave because he wants to win a Stanley Cup somewhere. I want it to be here. I don't want the Rick Nash thing. I don't want the Joe Thomas thing in Cleveland, like the Browns fans. I don't want that kind of stuff. I don't want the Myles Garrett thing.
I understand. I'm right there with you. A franchise in the Buckeye State that is a lot better off than the Blue Jackets of the Cincinnati Bengals. They did something really, really smart this week. We'll tell you about it next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Common Man here for my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. Summertime napping season is upon us. What's that mean? Well, that means for me, a little nap on the leather couch. I got the ceiling fan on, but if that AC's not working properly, that nap turns into crap. Am I right? You got to make sure that AC's in tip-top shape, and the only people to call are my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. The message on their homepage says, we care about your comfort, because they do. If you're not comfortable in your own home, they start to get itchy and scratchy. Here's what you need to know about my friends at Care. They've won the Lennox Centurion Award for 17 years in a row. Now, if you're not in the biz, you don't know what that is, but I'm going to tell you, it's given to the top 5% of Lennox dealers in the country each year. Their service techs are the best in the business, and there's not a problem they can't solve, except maybe the meaning of life. They had no answer when I asked them. But think about living without central AC. Mess you up. My friends at Care also have easy online scheduling. CareHeatingandCooling.com. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
What can ADP do for small business? We help answer the business questions, like how do you track employee time? How do you do payroll taxes? Or what does compliance even mean? So small businesses can focus on bigger questions. Now florists can ask, can we invent another holiday to sell bouquets? Pizza shops can ask, how do we stuff a calzone into a pizza crust? And pool cleaners can ask, what is that thing in the filter? These are the questions you can focus on when ADP takes care of the business of your small business. ADP for small business.
Your plate is full every morning thanks to the $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. Freshly brewed coffee, a hearty breakfast sandwich with a freshly cracked egg, and a daily baked donut. All of that for just $6. Yeah, that is a full plate for sure, but it's one less thing on your plate to worry about. So enjoy it to its fullest. The $6 Tim's Trio, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons, at participating U.S. restaurants.
Relax and let Kroger Delivery handle your grocery shopping this week. We start with only the freshest items. Then we carefully pack your order in our refrigerated trucks, so your food stays cool and fresh on its way to your door. And right now, you can save $30 on your first pickup or delivery order and get unlimited free delivery. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Bring your landscape back to life with an unbeatable deal from Ohio Mulch. 5 bags of premium mulch for just $10. You choose from absolute black, brown, or red to make your flowers pop and your curb appeal shine. Visit ohiomulch.com to find a location near you.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
It's time for sun and savings at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, get a new 2060 Elantra SE for $59 per month for a 2-year lease. Just $59 a month for the drive into summer sale. This month only. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit $39.95 down plus tax title first month payment. 7,500 miles per year and 7.6.
Well, Lorenzo, the pitch looked good.
Yeah, so green.
USA keeper was decent enough.
Didn't have much to do.
99 minutes.
Not a single goal. Well, Bet365 sure came through, though. I bet $10 and got $365 in bonus bets just for signing up.
At least someone scored.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I've been a journalist at 10 TV for more than 20 years. I don't just report about our community. I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to speak up, or lend a hand. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Hey, are you driving high right now? You might be, because a whole lot of people do. They say marijuana makes them a better driver, more careful, more focused. That's probably what the guy who killed a 4-year-old thought. And now, he's in prison. You see, no matter what you tell yourself, if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Your favorite fan shows are available as a podcast. What a concept! And don't miss exclusive podcast content like Austin and Byrne. Listen on your schedule from anywhere in the world. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It's shaping up to be an absolutely beautiful Saturday with plenty of sunshine and warm temperatures all across the area. Highs climbing into the mid-80s today, but you're going to have a lot of sun and a pretty high UV today. So if you're heading outside, make sure you bring your sunscreen. Tonight, we're going to see a couple more clouds roll in, but staying pretty mild with lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, we have a chance of rain and storms returning on your Sunday. I'm your 10 Weather Impact meteorologist, Lily Aldrich, with the 97.1 The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Yes, it is. And yes, they did opt for very annoying Eric Rieser, less annoying Jeff Thidoff.
Oh, you got that wrong. It's the other way around.
Well, all right. As a Browns fan, I'm constantly annoyed by the decisions that my team makes.
Dude, it's been a good last 2 off seasons. Other than, look,
Deshaun Watson is still on the roster.
That's fine.
That's the cloud that follows you everywhere.
It is your pigpen cloud.
Yep.
To date myself a little bit there, too.
Well,
but
I understood the reference.
Dylan Gabriel.
High five.
Thank you. Dylan Gabriel as a 3rd-round pick last year was a mistake. Or Sanders as a later-round pick. You need to take one of them.
Dylan Gabriel was the mistake.
That's fine. Very, very well, maybe it being the case.
Gabriel could have been a 5th-round pick, too.
Yes, they overdrafted him for sure. But I'm saying taking one of the two, I'm okay with. I don't have problems with other decisions in the offseason. You're right. The Watson stench is still there. They're all sprayed with that. But it's still, I like the moves the Browns have made the last 2 off seasons.
So they just wrapped up mandatory minicamp on Thursday. And you'll hear from Todd Monken and the 2 quarterbacks. And I am thrilled that he's been out there and explicitly stated this is a 2-quarterback battle.
Yeah.
Not like dumb, handsome Kevin Stefanski saying, oh, we got 4 quarterbacks in this competition. You don't. So what Todd Monken's doing is a welcome relief from kind of the poor decision-making by Kevin Stefanski. Browns wrapped it up on Thursday. You'll hear from Monken, Sanders, and even Deshaun Watson coming up here in a little bit. But a team that's in a very different course this season because of the quarterback situation. They nailed the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's all on Joe Burrow now. He's healthy. They've given him everything that he's wanted, but he's also been a great teammate. They also did a really smart thing on Thursday, restructuring Burrow's contract freeing up $10 million in cap space for the upcoming season. I think some of that will help pay Dexter Lawrence, but it goes to the idea that Cincinnati as a front office understands the assignment in front of them. We have this potentially generational quarterback that we have to do every single thing we can to help him win while he's still available to us.
Does it, if you were a Bengals fan, would it concern you? Because it seems like all these smart decisions the Bengals are making are being driven, if not made, by Burrow.
I would ask you to show me a team in serious contention that doesn't make decisions based off the quarterback.
I'm not saying just based off the quarterback. Or
the desires of the quarterback.
The reports are that Burrow told the Bengals, and this is just paraphrasing here, but the reports were that he said, look, if this defense doesn't get better, I don't know if I want to be here or not.
Sure.
Okay. And so that is what made the Bengals, I think, make some of the decisions they made, trading for Dexter Lawrence and all. I think that initiated that talk.
I think the Bengals their intelligence in the front office is limited to where Burrow needs to tell them that.
I was going to say, I've seen enough years of decisions made by Mike Brown. I'm fine if someone else makes a decision.
Okay, so and that's the bigger picture thing is that yes, I think the Bengals are making the right decisions. As an organization, yes, they're doing the right things on this. But is it concerning that it's not the front office making the decisions?
No, as long as someone's doing it.
As long as someone's doing
it. Right? I don't have, I would say, and Nate's the Bengals fan among us, that there shouldn't be any concern as long as the right move gets made, as long as the right moves get made, as long as you placate your quarterback, as long as Joe Burrow is happy to be quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, and as long as he's healthy, I think you've done everything you possibly can.
The best front offices.
Now, would you like to have a different head coach? Yeah, probably, but I think Joe Burrow can also make that easier.
Yeah, Marvin Lewis is
by just
available
playing
right now,
incredible.
And now there's Jeff
What's he
Fisher.
doing?
I don't know, but I'm just saying Marvin Lewis and Jeff Fisher, kings of mediocrity. Those are the ones you should be looking at.
Marvin Lewis in the UFO?
I don't think he is. He was
an assistant head coach of the Raiders.
Okay.
And then he was on Herm Edwards' staff at Arizona State.
That's right.
Wow.
God, I wanted Herm Edwards to do well at Arizona State.
Did you?
I did. Only because
I don't think I thought at all about it.
I like Herm Edwards, and I thought it was a fun story. And by the way, it also gave me reason to watch. This is before, but it started. I don't think betting was legal yet in Ohio, the online betting stuff. But it gave me reason to stay up late and watch more football to root for Arizona State, and when they were playing in the football after dark and all that kind of crap. But yeah, it didn't work out.
Well, they're hoping Cincinnati does that. This works out again. They had $7.1 million in effective cap space, but this restructuring gives them a little bit more flexibility. The trade for Dexter Lawrence, I think, was the key to their offseason because the 10th overall pick would have been fun, I think, as a project, but you don't have time for this. This has to be a win now team, and that does this. So the biggest question in the NFL for me is, can Joe Burrow, healthy, take the Bengals to their Super Bowl? Or can deliver Cincinnati their first Super Bowl?
He said it's the most talented team he's been on in the NFL this year. This team has more talent than any NFL team he's been on before, and that's a team that went to the Super Bowl we're talking about.
The Rams are obviously the most talented team.
Right.
But next most talented, you can have a conversation for the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm trying to
with
think.
the additions they made defensively, with who they've got on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
The offensive line, I think, will probably be their biggest question because now you have to run block, but you've got to keep Joe Burrow upright.
Got to keep him healthy. Yes,
but
absolutely.
I would contend other AFC teams have just as important or glaring questions with other units.
Denver, New England, Baltimore, Kansas City. You got question marks about Mahomes. You've got a very aged Travis Kelce. Need a receiver still, probably can't. Yep, you might be right about that. That right there is a hot take.
Yeah,
you
can't.
It's right.
You got to have gloves when you handle that thing.
I think that's right, though.
Cincinnati's going to be doing their mandatory mini camp on the 16th. So if my calendar in front of me is correct, that's on Tuesday. So they'll all be down in Cincinnati, and it'll probably be hey, we're ready to go win it now.
Yeah,
and they should be. It's funny hearing Jamar Chase last week was asked about Myles Garrett in the trade. He's like, we don't really care. And they shouldn't.
No.
Lamar Jackson had a great response to it where he was happy for Myles. And he was also worried that Jared Verse
Yeah.
Because Jared Verse is a great is a great player. And I think that is the talk about the trade, I don't think matters until the Jared Verse addition happens, because they're not making the trade unless you're getting a player like Jared Verse.
Right. But this is one of those things with the Verse and the Garrett trade. All I say, look at it in 2 years. See where Miles is at in 2 years and see who the Browns get with their picks, how they develop, and see what Jared Verse looks like in 2 years.
I want to ask friend of the program, Mr. Leeper, who says in the YouTube chat he doesn't have the power that LeBron has. I think he's referencing Joe Burrow in the Bengals front office. He adds Mike Brown is finally so old that the front office is finally free to be smart. That part I agree with, but LeBron, I don't think has the kind of pull with the Lakers that Joe Burrow does with the Bengals.
Not anymore. I don't think LeBron
at one point had the pull with the Lakers, had at one point the pull with the Heat, at one point had pull with the Cavs.
Yes.
Does not have that anymore relative to the kind of sway Joe Burrow does. And if he does, shame on whoever's the front office asking that. Now, where could LeBron end up in this offseason? He'll be a free agent. We'll get into that coming up in a little bit. But finally, a quarterback situation in Cleveland that I can get on board with? That's next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Nothing feels better on a hot summer day than coming home to a nice air-conditioned house. If your AC is on the fritz, don't sweat it. Call the pros at the Waterworks Heating and Cooling. We service all makes and models and can provide great savings on a Lennox home comfort system that delivers that perfect feeling. The Waterworks Heating and Cooling Services. Call us at 614-232-2222 and schedule fast service today. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
Your plate is full every morning, thanks to the $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. Freshly brewed coffee, a hearty breakfast sandwich with a freshly cracked egg, and a daily baked donut. All of that for just $6. Yeah, that is a full plate for sure, but it's one less thing on your plate to worry about. So enjoy it to its fullest. The $6 Tim's Trio, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons, at participating U.S. restaurants.
Welcome to Hollywood Casino.
What can I get you?
How you doing, Columbus?
The same Hollywood you know, with a new hotel to love. Hollywood Casino and Hotel Columbus, coming June 2026. Book now. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Yes, you are. Rieser and Tito until 1 o'clock. And we'll step aside for Westwood One Sports Radio. And then at 3:40, Reds pregame. Looking to bounce back from last night's debacle against the Diamondbacks. Cincinnati will host Arizona at 4:10, but 3:40 will be the time for Reds pregame coverage. You also got Cincinnati Reds baseball on the Fan tomorrow after the Fan Sports Sunday folks get off the air. So, Big Red Machine on the big stick.
Yeah, I don't call it Big Red Machine. It's been so
they have
bad.
not been the Big Red Machine at all.
No.
There was hope at the beginning of the season, but I think injuries and poor performance have
the bullpen's been terrible.
Sunk that.
Terrible.
Was that known going into the season? I don't remember hearing concern for the Reds' arms.
But the fact that they've had so many injuries. I mean, we knew Hunter Green was going to be out, but the starting pitching has had injuries and has forced them has turned the lights on for the cockroaches that are the bullpen this year. And so it's been more evident they needed more of the bullpen than I thought they would need. And so I think that's been part of the issue.
Would the Redlegs be in on a big arm at the deadline?
I think they're knowing the Reds.
The Reds a buyer?
Well, yeah.
I think the Reds will go the more conservative route, and they'll probably still sell.
Because Cincinnati is 10.5 back of the Brewers. I would think that, so the Guardians right now are a half game out first place the White Sox. If the Reds were in a similar position in the NL Central, I would say Cincinnati, go get Skubal.
Yeah.
And don't worry about signing him.
I'll tell you the other guy I want to
get him for a rental.
They are just 3 games out of the final wild card spot. The Reds are, and every year I say this for the last few years. Just make a call and see what it takes to get Mike Trout. I know
that's so weird. The Mike Trout. It's so weird to think about Mike Trout now. It's even in 10 years. I think it's going to be a weird career retrospective.
Yeah.
Because one of, if not the best player for a couple seasons, at least, for Mike Trout, where you looked at and said, there's probably a 5-year stretch, right? Yeah. Where you looked at and said, best player in baseball, they said Mike Trout.
Yeah. After that 5-year stretch, Hall of Fame for sure, they said.
And you got nothing. What do you have to show for
Not much. Yeah, nothing. You're right. Yeah.
Living out in Anaheim's great. Probably.
Yeah.
I've never lived out there, but I know Ohtani didn't want, Ohtani probably didn't move.
Not many people move from Anaheim.
Ohtani didn't have to. Ohtani went right up the street.
Yeah.
What did I tease?
Oh, we teased.
Oh, tease the Cleveland Browns.
Yes, the quarterback situation. Yeah, you had
so I generally hate the Cleveland Browns, even though I am a Cleveland Browns fan. But I appreciate that for Todd Monken, you've got to come in and win football games. You did not sign Deshaun Watson, so I cannot hang the Watson decision on you. I have to look at this because I can't. There has not been a sports decision that I've disliked more than the Browns signing Deshaun Watson.
Okay, I get it, yeah.
It is the worst decision in NFL history. The Cleveland Browns sending all of the picks they did so the Houston Texans could completely flip their roster in an offseason. And then the idea that 40-plus women, at least sexual harassment allegations at the very least, they still said, no, we'll give him the most guaranteed money. And that decision has rippled to where you've lost the best player in your franchise, in the history of your franchise, in Myles Garrett, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You have lost him because you were unable to be competitive because you did the deal with Watson. And so it's very well deserved, the spot the Cleveland Browns are in. But I can't put any of that on Todd Monken. And so he's got Watson because you still have him under contract. He's going to be in your quarterback room. Hopefully this time next year, we're not talking about it anymore. Drinks are on me when that graphic comes out. So the Browns have released Deshaun Watson.
Right.
But it's Watson, it's Shedeur Sanders. And for Todd Monken, it's got to be which quarterback gives me the best chance to win right now. So far, it feels like it's trending Deshaun week 1. I think that's where it's going to be week 1 against the Jaguars, Deshaun Watson. I also think that if Shedeur can continue to make this a competition, it's easier for him to bench Deshaun Watson rather than bench Shedeur in favor of Watson.
You're right. Yeah, the way they've got the order set up, the way it's all trending, as you say, makes a lot of sense. That is smart. It's so stupid that's a smart move. And what I mean by that is that the fact that has to be the smart move, like that is the right move to make, but it's so bad they've gotten that situation where that is the right move to make.
The Browns will be a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
So they'll have their pick, and then the pick they got from the Rams in exchange for Myles Garrett probably be like 30 or
32.
31.
Whatever it'll be, yes.
It'll give them the ability, if they want to move up one spot to get their quarterback. I think that puts them in an advantageous situation there. But for the quarterback situation right now, Todd Monken talked about any potential negatives into taking this quarterback battle, which on Thursday he was not ready to name a starter. And if he doesn't have a starter ready to name, don't rush Don't rush it in June.
Yeah.
Monken talking about taking it into potentially training camp.
I think he's excited to play again and to play at a high level. He puts a lot of pressure on himself. So when he's not right or he makes a mistake, he's great at owning it, but it's okay. We're human. We're going to make mistakes. You're not going to play flawless. Oh, I don't see it that way. It would be if I didn't think either one of them were capable of starting. It would feel different if I didn't feel like their progression hadn't gotten to this point where I think they both can start and play winning football. I'm convinced of it. I'd say it if I didn't. I can't decide now because I think both have earned the opportunity to continue to compete once we put the pads on.
The last part's the most important. They've both earned the opportunity to compete, so continue the competition. I think it makes them both better. I think if Watson, there's a situation where if Watson plays well enough and they stink, probably I guess I should rephrase that. If Watson plays well and they stink, they're going to stink. You can trade Watson at the deadline to a team that might need a quarterback, right? There's option. You are providing yourself with options, so much so that you might come out of this in a good spot if you're Todd Monken. Now the Browns are still going to be they're still bad. You're still building the Brook Park, But Monken in his first season can maybe paint this turd a couple shades of gold.
But that's where you get into the situation, though, Reese. Who gives you the best chance to win? Yeah, it's Watson. Does Watson give you a chance to contend for the division? And if he doesn't, then I don't care how much you win. If you can't win your division or contend for your division, then hell, I play Sanders, and if I suck, I get a higher draft pick, and I know what I have in Sanders, and now Watson's gone.
But see, the thing with that is if you've got the high draft pick, then you're picking a quarterback? Probably.
Sure.
But at least you know.
At least you know.
What if you go 8-9 with Watson, though? Wouldn't you rather go, as a Browns fan, wouldn't you rather go 3-14 with Sador? So would I.
Yeah.
With the Steelers, same way. I'm a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
I'd much rather go 5-12, I'm giving them 2 more wins, with Will Howard, than go 9-8 with Aaron Rodgers.
Yes. Yeah. Man, that's a weird spot too, right?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers, because they've never done that.
What's the difference in the last couple of years? They keep on, you're right. They have not embraced the full rebuild.
And that's where, when you talked about trading Myles Garrett, there was talk about trading Denzel Ward. And I think for Monken, it can't be a situation where you're thinking about losing.
Yeah.
And I think if you had traded Ward, that's the front office telling you, hey, we're going to take this year off. And for Monken in his first season, I don't think he's got any desire to do that. Now, I think he signed a 5-year deal, and I would hope they give him the full 5. Because I don't know how. They extended Kevin Stefanski, I think.
I think they did too, yeah.
They should not
This
have.
is the argument I have, by the way, another argument I had at Morning Juice. I kind of have a lot of arguments. It's not like I got issues. But is there if let's say Monken goes 1-16 this year, do they fire him?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, whatever the record is, they won't fire him after this season.
Right.
And I think that's the right play.
Me too.
Because this roster wasn't really put together by him. He had one draft where he could offer some input.
That was the argument. I said
Andrew Berry, I don't think should be the GM of this team, but he's got an opportunity now to stack 2 draft classes and dig himself out of this Watson hole.
Now, if they go 3-14 and he looks incompetent, like he's overmatched, I could see him fire. If it looks like
Andrew Berry, no.
No, not Andrew Berry. I'm talking about Monken.
Not Monken.
If Monken goes 3-14 and he makes so many bad decisions that it looks like this guy can never is not anywhere near it, I could see it happening. But if they go even if they go 1-16, but he doesn't have any kind of holy crap, why was he going for it on 4th and 19 at his own 30-yard line? Nothing like that. No matter what his record is, I think he's here at least for next year, the following year.
Yeah.
Here's also a scenario you don't want to discuss. Say they go 9-8, barely miss the division, but with Watson, but things look on, they're up and up. Guess what's coming up next season? The contract talk.
Yeah. I hate that so much, Nate, but you can't. It's because of what we do. You can't avoid that conversation, and I don't think they'll find themselves in it because I don't think it'll be that bad.
You can't re-sign Deshaun Watson.
Then what's the point of playing him?
I'm with you on that. I'm saying you cannot. Unless Deshaun, even if Deshaun wins a Super Bowl.
It's 2 different conversations, right? Because you have to afford Todd Monken, as the first year as a head coach, the ability to play the guy he thinks gives him the best chance to win. Almost for Monken, contract be damned.
Yeah.
Money be damned, because it isn't his money.
Right.
He's trying to win football games. He's trying to do it now. He's got to tear down a culture of losing.
Yeah.
He's got guys in the locker room that he has to look at and say, I'm doing the best. I'm trying to do the best job for you. I'm trying to win football games.
Mm-hmm. That's
the only thing that matters to Monken. Or that's the only thing that should matter to Todd Monken. I hate that. But I hate being in this spot. That's why I preface this whole Browns discussion with the Watson thing's the worst.
Deshaun leads them, say, to a playoff win, all right? And then he comes back and the Browns sign him to a major deal. 5 years again, $250 guaranteed. They do it, and then more allegations happen. Or he tears his Achilles again.
Hey, the Chiefs gave Patrick Mahomes a bunch of money. We'll discuss that next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Dip it, dunk it, smother it. It's queso gone wild at Hothead Burritos. Try our new loaded potatoes covered in queso and topped off with hardwood smoked bacon, burritos, bowls, nachos, and more. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some queso.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Today, we're talking about how you don't have to earn more when you can save more. Okay, so you brought me this stat. T-Mobile customers had the lowest wireless bills versus Verizon and AT&T over the past 5 years. That seems surprising.
Yeah, when I first heard it, I thought, okay. But when the experts at HarrisX broke it down, it was true for millions of families.
They have a 5-year price guarantee on experience plans and America's Best Network, plus lower bills. I'm not hearing any sacrifice here.
Which is what people need right now. Reliability, predictability. Affordable wireless service isn't a perk. It's a difference. And listeners, if you don't believe me, you can check it out at tmobile.com/switch.
Best mobile network based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. Price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Based on HarrisX billing snapshots from Q3 21 and Q4 25 compared to average AT&T and Verizon bills. Comparison excludes discounts, credits, and optional charges. For more details, see harrisx.com/T-Mobile-bills.
Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
Get 0% financing for 60 months on new 2026 Tucsons. Only at Great Lakes, Columbus, or Dublin, or glakeshyundai.com. Approved A1 credit. Up to 30K finance only. Plus qualified rate. N76.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
Welcome to Hollywood Casino.
What can I get you?
How you doing, Columbus?
The same Hollywood you know, with a new hotel to love. Hollywood Casino and Hotel Columbus, coming June 2026. Book now. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Welcome back to That Lux Life. It's your boy, Will Winmore. Today's guest, the Millionaire Ball from the new Ohio Lottery Daily Draw Game, Millionaire for Life. Hey-o! So if a player matches 5 numbers and the Millionaire Ball number, they win $1 million a year for life. Hey-o! Or $100,000 a year for life if they match just 5. Hey-o! Millionaire for Life is the game. Millionaire Ball is his name. Play Ohio's newest daily draw game for your chance to win for life. Players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman. Giggity, giggity, giggity. So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan. Have you ever met a man who wins money betting on tennis? Enter Scotty Vegas. Join Scotty and Dave Biddle for On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Sunday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
The Watson thing makes me so unreasonably angry. I was looking at, what it's Spotrac, just the contracts, and you can play around with it. I've done so much fantasy cutting of Deshaun Watson that it's kind of unhealthy.
Yeah.
And then I look around the league, and I see up on the TV screen that Baker Mayfield's not close to a contract extension with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that he could become a free agent next season. And I wonder.
No,
I just wonder, they're dumb enough.
Are they?
The Browns?
Are they smart enough to sign Baker?
I think at this point in his career, it would be a very bad decision.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Patrick Mahomes isn't going anywhere in Kansas City. This is much we know. They added 2 years to his deal earlier in the week. He's tied to Kansas City through 2033 at a value of $504.75 million. First contract valued at over $500 million in NFL history. New money on the deal is $239 million. After his rookie deal, the Chiefs have spent more than $680 million on Mahomes from 2022 to 2033. Will be the total amount of new money they've given him. I would say it's been worth it.
Yeah.
What this also tells me with the extension or with the added years, added money, they're confident he's going to go week 1 against the Denver Broncos. They have the first Monday Night Football game of the season. He's progressed from 7-on-7 to 11-on-11. I think the Chiefs are also one of several teams that that have done mandatory minicamp this past week.
Right.
So it kind of remains to be seen how he'll look in training camp. But I think this, at least to me, says he's going to return to being the final boss in the AFC.
Do you think that came into play at all when they were doing the scheduling for the NFL? When they figured,
absolutely,
because Nick's coming off an injury, Mahomes coming off an injury, and they're banking on both their being there. Because no offense to Justin Fields, I don't think they'd schedule the Chiefs on the first Monday night game if they thought Justin Fields would be under center for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mahomes thing. I think the Mike Vrabel thing.
Yeah.
Added to where some of the Patriots primetime games. Yeah, I think all of that is factored in when they do they put together the schedule puzzle. Just because I think we do need to do a public service, stay hydrated out there today. There's a lot going on in Columbus. I think if you're looking to go inside the Outer Belt, downtown's got the Arts Festival.
Yeah.
Buckeye Country Superfest has been going on for a couple hours now. I think their headline act goes on at 9:00. So hydrate if you're out there. Put on some sunscreen. The Tri-Village area's got the tour to Grandview. And then, Nate, I think you said there were a couple of great local acts that were going to be playing at the Arts Festival near Kosai?
Yeah, near Kosai, Bicentennial Park, all that area. I've got 4 if you're heading down there this weekend. If you're going down right now, go check out Friends with Elephants. They're out 1:30 on the Bicentennial stage. Zoo Trippin' will be playing that stage at 6:30 tonight. Karate Coyote will be at Genoa Park at 8. And if you're going down tomorrow, go see the band Server at 1:45 on the Rich Street stage.
This after a day like yesterday where you had a little over 1,000 people at Bridge Park for the soccer celebration.
Right.
This is one of those times out of the year where your attention span is pulled in so many different directions.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm very interested to see how the NBA and the NHL finals do. It's good, I think, for both leagues that they put them back on ABC. So it's accessible with rabbit ears. It's good that they've both been very compelling series.
Right.
But Tito, I think of my weekend and just how many different directions you get pulled into.
There's a lot. And not to mention the yard work. You know what I mean?
Are you is that on your list this weekend? Because I should do weeds, so I probably will tomorrow.
Yeah.
But do you have any on the honey-do list?
I've had a pile of mulch in my driveway for a while now. That's got to get.
How long has it sat there?
About a week. It's got to get done. I mean, look, it didn't help that I was working.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah, it's
that's true. You did do Juice and Buckeye Show Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
How did they con you into that?
They did. Well, first of all, they just asked. Look, Reese, I've told people this. I would do 3 shows a day if they'd let me. I don't care. I love hearing myself talk. I love doing this. I would do 3 shows a day if they'd let me. So it's always, they know that about me. They know they say, can you do this? It's always yes.
I'll say this. We're on for another 5 more minutes, and then it's Westwood One Radio. Like, I think Nate could just leave your microphone on.
Yeah.
And let you go until 3:40. That's when Reds Diamondbacks have their pregame that we are contractually obligated to air.
Right.
So there's baseball on the Fan this afternoon in Game 2 between Arizona and Cincinnati. First pitch from Great American Ballpark, 4:10, but Reds will be on the Fan at 3:40. For the Cleveland Guardians, it's Game 2 of a 3-game set against the Tigers. Tarek Skubal's back after they removed loose bodies from his elbow.
I don't.
Which was the first time I'd ever heard that phrase.
Yeah, that sounds very SVU-ish to me.
They found some loose body. Like, how if you're Skubal, probably elbow discomfort.
Yeah.
Get an MRI. Doctor comes back with there's loose bodies in there. There's what?
Yeah. Has anyone
Those
seen
removed.
your daughter? Sorry.
You're never sorry. You apologize on the air more than anybody on this station, and you are sorry for none of it.
That's fair. That's also fair.
Chris reminded me about the UFC fight that's taking place tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Is it the one at the White House?
Fighting on the White House lawn. And I think you have to have Paramount Plus to get that.
Probably.
And Conor McGregor apologized for absolutely nothing. That's you.
Conor McGregor.
I'm sorry.
Radio.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not sorry for a damn thing you say on the station. I do not think there's anything that could get me to purchase Paramount Plus. And I was a Yellowstone fan, but it wore on me. And I know there's like Yellowstone spinoffs, and so I won't do that.
See, I'm the sucker because I may have a Paramount Plus, but I have no idea if I do or not.
You don't know.
I don't know what I have. And I probably got multiple ones. I don't know. I don't know if I've got I think I do have Peacock, I know that. I don't know if I have HBO Max or not.
Peacock's got all the World Cup games too. I saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
Which is smart because one of the things that I love about what the Guardians are dealing with right now is Major League Baseball's got their game, so it's available MLB TV. You get it on your phone. So if you are out and you want to check up on the Guardians, just put the phone up.
There you go.
Like it does make it very easy to do both the socializing or the yard work or anything else, and also keeping track of your teams. We did not get to what Ohio State basketball is doing in a very ambitious non-conference schedule.
Yeah.
So they're opening in Salt Lake City against BYU. They've got the CBS Sports Classic every season. They're finalizing an agreement to play Vanderbilt for a home-and-home starting in 2026, or starting this upcoming season in Columbus, and then in Nashville in 27-28. Now, this is actually a legitimate reason to go play basketball in Nashville.
Yes.
I get the pay. You got the paycheck for Valentine's Day playing Virginia there, but this non-conference thing makes sense. It's Kansas for the CBS Sports Classic, and then they've got Notre Dame, and then they begin a home-and-home with UConn.
They're at UConn.
I love this ambitious scheduling.
Oh, me too. And look, it follows that whole Izzo model, which I love. And I think that's why Michigan State's always so ready for the Big Ten and NCAA tournament, because they do things like this. And so, yeah, I'm glad that that Diebler's, by the way, Diebler might be on the Buckeye Show Monday. He might be.
Featuring Jeff Thidoff and co-host?
No. That's a tough subject right there. I can talk to you about it off the air. But no, it'll be, I think it's Fontana doing it with Patrick Murphy.
But Jake Diebler
might be a guest on the show on Monday.
That would be exciting. Joel Justice was assistant coach, or Joel Justice is at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, was here.
Was at Ohio State. Didn't play at Vanderbilt?
Oh, I don't know. But that's a good. I don't think he played at Vanderbilt.
He might have coached there.
Might have been like
might have been an assistant
video coordinator or something there. Some of those lines. Yeah.
All right. Well, Tito was fun.
Always.
I can't do this next Saturday with you because we'll be doing 971 The Race. So we're doing the Fan 5K, 971therace.com for that. But everybody,
we talk to you live out there?
Maybe next Saturday on the Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.